I think year to year, things, being in education for 33 years, I've seen a lot. There's a lot of challenges. The biggest challenge I feel really is getting kids to understand the whole concept of being on a team and being part of a team, and that, you don't need to be the superstar, that you can contribute in every form, every way. It's just getting them to buy into the team, and also getting them to buy into hard work. That you want to be successful in life, you've got to work hard, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build men, men for the future. And I think the lessons that we teach our kids, and hopefully we're good examples, that it rubs off on them. And when they're done playing their game, and they're moving on in life, that they have these tools to fall back on that will help them again get through adverse situations.
It started in 1894, and it continues today. Fitchburg versus Leominster. It is Thanksgiving Day from historic Crocker Field here on FATV. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to Crocker Field. Welcome to FATV's coverage of the rivalry, Fitchburg versus Leominster. Again, the 125th anniversary. I'm John Gugerty, joined first today by Dan Bolak. Dan, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, John.
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for all of the work that you've done here. I speak for all of FATV when I say we're very thankful for the work that you and all of our crew have done all this season and going forward here on FATV.
Thank you very much, John, and I'll give thanks from the crew on their behalf. But absolutely, it's great to be part of this broadcast, great to be part of the rivalry for the first time on camera, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. This is as we said, the 125th anniversary of the rivalry. It's the 114th time Fitchburg and Leominster have met roughly around Thanksgiving. Obviously, last year it wasn't on Thanksgiving because it was very cold. It was so very cold. It was not a very good football game last year either. But let's talk a little bit about the history of this rivalry and just how long and how many times Fitchburg and Leominster have met.
They first met in 1894, and this is the 138th meeting between these two teams. And again, as you said, 114 scheduled for the Thanksgiving time.
Right.
Of course, a couple of games in the past have been postponed due to snow and other things. Mm-hmm. And last year we saw the game moved forward a day due to bitter cold.
It was so cold. It's the one thing, two things I remember from last year's game, and we can talk about that a little bit more. First of all, it was very cold, and it's thankfully not as cold today. It's pretty nice actually for a late November morning.
Yeah, about 40s today. Very wet, very rainy. It rained a lot last night. It's still been raining. I mean, the odds of precipitation coming into today at kickoff were 10%, but it's going to be, feels like it's a little higher considering how much it's been drizzling. The field is going to be very wet.
You can see it right there, actually. Yep. The field is in, I'm going to be honest here, I've seen Crocker Field look better. It's a rough, slippery field. Obviously, it's the end of what's been a very long season. Turf is not in its best shape, but it's a level playing field. It's not like it's only one side. It's not like only Fitchburg is going to have to deal with the elements. This is the field these guys have to play on today.
Yes, a noticeable scar through the middle of the field, but that's to be expected when you're playing on grass.
Also notable at midfield is the very impressive paint job that's been done, the nice F with the Raiders on it. Thanks to the Crocker Field folks for putting that together.
Got to go all out on Thanksgiving, absolutely. For the 7th varsity game, it's already a lot of varsity games being played at Crocker this year. Originally 4 scheduled, then 1 added later, and then a playoff game for the first time in who knows how long.
There was the playoff with
Neshoba.
Neshoba, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong schedule. How dare I?
with Neshoba, and then of course now Thanksgiving, the 125th anniversary of the rivalry right here at historic Crocker Field.
So it's the 125th anniversary of the rivalry, the 138th overall meeting. The previous 137 very, very evenly matched, as you would expect from two teams that, broadly speaking, are on the same level in terms of the power dynamics of Central Mass football. All-time, Leominster leads the series 67 to 60 to 10, and even that 7-game gap, Dan, has really been opened up over the past few years.
It's been very recent. Going into 2010, it was all tied up, 58 wins for each side with the 10 draws, a number that should not be added to for the foreseeable future.
Hopefully not. They might change the overtime rules again at some point.
They may, but in any case, Leominster, they've won 8 of the last 9 Thanksgiving games, 9 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams, because playoffs happen twice.
Last year, we mentioned it a couple of times already, not a particularly impressive showing by Fitchburg. I think that would probably be the most generous interpretation. Leominster beat them 36-0 is the bush around which I'm beating.
The first ever Thanksgiving Eve game for Fitchburg Leominster, and it was all Leominster all the time at Doyle Field in that one. 335 yards of offense for the Blue Devils in that one compared to 91 yards for the Red Raiders. And the Blue Devils did it all on the ground. They didn't even think about passing the football in that frigid, cold, dreadful, awful weather.
Come up with some more bad adjectives. They all apply. It was not a very fun time to be calling, or to be playing for that matter, football on Thanksgiving for Fitchburg last year. Leominster at least had the benefit of the massive victory. This year, teams' fortunes are a little bit different. Obviously, we've been following here on FATV Fitchburg High School. They finished with a 7-3 record. Did come up short in their Central Mass Division IV championship game. We had that for you against Tantascwa from Foley Field in Worcester. One thing, Dan, that we should mention about, looking at this as a football game, possibly related to, we had some choice words to say about the way that Tantascwa game ended. Anthony Oquendo, the big weapon for Fitchburg, is not dressed to play right now.
Right now, he is in black slacks, which are not football-related pants.
No, Fitchburg has not added black to their uniform anytime soon, or anytime recently, rather. Anthony Oquendo, again, the major offensive weapon for the Raiders, not wearing pads, not looking like he'll take part in this game. Obviously, that changes the dynamic for Fitchburg. So much of their offense has revolved around him. What do you think we're going to see from the Raiders if they are without their biggest weapon here today?
Well, for one thing, they're going to have to rely a little more on the backfield that they've been using besides Oquendo, such as Devin Barisano and Duncan Poitras, but also you might have to see Montgomery Graham run the ball a lot more than he may be comfortable with. You may have to see him throw the ball a little more.
We did see the Raiders in the game against Tantascwa go with the option look a lot of the time with Graham and Barisano in the backfield. Graham on the season, 4 rushing touchdowns. That's actually more rushing touchdowns than he has passing touchdowns. Just 28 of 69 throwing the ball on the season is the junior quarterback Montgomery Graham for Fitchburg High.
I will say, though, the 3 touchdowns he threw this year were all beautiful touchdown passes.
They absolutely were. The one that sticks out in my mind, and I'm sure the minds of the folks at home, is the one to Latrell Bodie. That beautiful shot from the right end zone here at Crocker Field. That was a fantastic throw, probably the best one that we've seen from Montgomery Graham as the Raiders quarterback.
That's the one in the Westboro game as part of the Red Raiders comeback to take down the Rangers. I mentioned that because he had one similar one in the North Middlesex game to Latrell Bodie, another long touchdown pass. And of course, he also had the touchdown pass against Tantascwa to Donovan DeLeon, where DeLeon was wide open.
Oh, yes. Now, we've talked a lot about Fitchburg High, how they're going to approach this game, but they do have to play against somebody else. So let's talk a little bit about Leominster. They come into this game with a record of 4-6, and they're actually on their backup quarterback.
They are. J.C. Cora was their starting quarterback. The junior got hurt in the game against Doherty, their second contest of the season, after Leominster trashed Westfield in their opener. And so Caden Constant, a sophomore, had to step up, and it was basically trial by fire for him in the early going. In that game, Doherty ended up winning 14-13, scoring in the last minute, essentially. A heartbreaking loss for Leominster, which started a 6-game losing streak. But a lot of close games in that one. They took Neshoba to overtime, lost 17-14. They lost 8-6 to Shrewsbury. They held a Central Mass juggernaut in St. John's, who's been putting up so many points this season against Central Mass competition. It's not even funny. They held them to 30 and kept it a game throughout. But Leominster has really come on strong, just like last year when they won their last 5 games, including the Thanksgiving game. They've won their last 3 games. They've beaten Algonquin twice and Westboro, and those were teams that Fitchburg had trouble with.
So you look at the overall records, you think, well, Fitchburg is 7-3, Leominster's 4-6. This is going to be a reversal of last year's. Fitchburg's going to put 40 points on them and just blow them out. It may not be the case. Fitchburg, their last game, a dispiriting loss in the Central Mass Division 4 Championship against Tantascwa, coming into this game apparently without the services of Anthony Oquendo, and they take on a Leominster squad that, as you said, Dan, has won their last 3 games on the bounce. In that last one, Caden Constant, the backup quarterback for Leominster, who has been pressed into service, had 118 passing yards. He also had a touchdown pass and a touchdown run.
Arlen Gillot, 24-yard catch he had in that one. J.B. Rodriguez, Bryant Cordero had the touchdown runs. Leominster 313 yards of offense against the Tomahawks and 11 for 16 on 3rd down. They would not quit.
And that's something that Leominster is really going to have to emphasize today, is hanging onto the ball on 3rd down. We've seen so many times this season. The one that sticks out in my mind for the Raiders is that 7-0 victory they had. That, I believe, was against Algonquin. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe so.
That was, in fact, against Algonquin, the 7-0 game, where their defense forces Gonk into a very bad field position, and then they have to punt, and they wind up scoring on the punt return. If Leominster can avoid being pulled back deep into their own field position, if they can keep converting on those 3rd downs, they will obviously keep the ball longer and get it out of the hands of the Fitchburg offense.
And that was something that Leominster was able to take advantage of last year as well. They had 2 very long clock-killing drives,
That's
is what I want to say.
Yep.
They had 2 very long drives that really drained the clock. They dominated time of possession in that game. That made it very difficult for the Red Raiders to come back. But also, as we've mentioned, these 2 teams have very, very solid defenses. The offenses have struggled in fits and starts this year, but the defense is both excellent. Leominster 4-6, but they've played one of the toughest schedules in all of Central Mass. They played every Central Division 3 team. They played a Division 3 team in Westfield and blew the doors off of them. And there are other 2 games outside of Division 3 against a very strong Neshoba team, which we got to see twice this year, and Westboro, which the Red Raiders, as we mentioned, had trouble with, but there was no problem for Leominster. They won that one 35-10.
Now, Dan, you mentioned both teams with offenses that, at least in the first half, tend to struggle, and with very strong defenses. You combine that and the field conditions, it's going to be wet, it's going to be sloppy, it's going to be windy as well. If I set the over-under at 25 points for today's game, I think I want to take the under.
It's going to be a challenging game for these 2 squads. As we mentioned, the field conditions, it's not going to be great. I mean, Leominster gets the luxury, in a sense, of playing on field turf, but here at Crocker Field, it is natural grass.
Mm-hmm.
The players, especially for Leominster, they may have challenges getting footholds in the grass there. There aren't very many opponents that play on grass either, now that I look at this schedule. A lot of these teams, they play on turf.
Look at the road games for Leominster on the season. They played at Westfield.
I think they do have grass there at Westfield.
They also played at Neshoba.
They have turf.
Wachusett
has turf.
Shepherd Hill
has turf.
And Algonquin
has turf.
So Leominster has played 1 game on grass all season. It was their first game of the season, is what you're saying.
I believe, okay, now I'm not positive if Algonquin is turf or not. I can't remember, but I
one
think
or
they
two.
have 1 or 2, something to that nature. In any case, they're not used to playing on grass, is what I believe.
And they're certainly not used to playing on, again, wet, slippery grass. Folks, if you're just joining us, we are about 15 minutes away from kickoff here at Crocker Field. I'm John Gugerty, joined by Dan Bolak. We see Mike Flynn off to the right here. He and Dave Clark will be joining us very shortly. This is the 125th anniversary of the rivalry, Fitchburg versus Leominster, here on FATV. We're so happy to have you with us. Again, we'll be hearing from Mike Clark and Dave Flynn in just a second. But Dan, let's talk just a little bit more about what we expect from these teams going forward. Personally, I mean, Do you want to make this call, or do I want to make this call? I almost feel like Leominster should be favored.
I don't think that's wrong to think. I mean, with Leominster, they've played such a challenging schedule this year. They've come on strong, winning their last 3 games, and again, against teams that Fitchburg struggled against, where Fitchburg, all of their games seem to be coming down to dramatics, if you will.
Absolutely. You know, the overtime game, the 7-0 game, the game against Tantascwa that was close right up until the end that they ultimately lost. Fitchburg has played their opponents very tight all season. They're coming off of that dispiriting loss. They are evidently without the services, again, of Anthony Oquendo, who, in case you're just joining us, is not dressed to play today. We don't know if that's maybe a tactic or if there's some disciplinary reasons for that. We didn't see anything in the Tantascwa game that would indicate a severe injury. We know he has been playing hurt most of the season, so there's plenty of speculation there, is what I'm getting at, and we really don't want to get too deep into that, but it looks for all intents and purposes like Fitchburg will be without Anthony Oquendo. So you combine that, you add in the struggles that Fitchburg's offense has had already. I kind of think this is Leominster's game, and I know I'm wearing red and we're wearing the official FATV beanies, but if I'm picking a winner today, I might be picking Leominster.
Yep. Then again, we are a bit level-headed in the sense that neither of us actually went to Fitchburg High, and we don't have that bias.
I live in West Springfield now, but you know, we're here, we're on FATV, so who knows?
Yep.
One thing we do know is that it is so great to have you with us both at home and you, Dan, in the booth. We want to thank you so much for being here with us. Any final thoughts before we send you off to do the other job you're going to be doing, which is running graphics for us today?
Yep. I don't know if I have that many other thoughts necessarily, but I know.
Well, there's an out-of-context quote if I've ever heard it.
I've actually forgotten what just came out of my mouth there, but in any case.
Been there.
For the Red Raiders, I think one of the keys is try to keep Leominster off the board for as long as they can, especially in the first half before. As in all the games we've seen this year, for the most part, the Red Raiders have only scored in the first half in 4 of their 10 contests this season. And so my line of thinking is that as long as they can keep it close, it's like as they get the gears of offense cranking and moving, that they can hopefully hold Leominster at bay as long as they can before they can start to open up and maybe start to take the game over.
Okay.
If things go the way that they've been going all season.
One would hope.
Yeah,
Obviously, that's the game plan for Fitchburg. Wear down Leominster, use their man advantage.
And even then, know that this Red Raider team, they've come back from behind a few times this season. They came from 15 points down against Neshoba on October the 25th, 14 points down twice against Westboro a week later. This is a team that is full of perseverance.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Pick a winner, Fitchburg or Leominster.
Ooh, that is a good one. Fitchburg by a point.
Okay. Danny Bolek is on the record, Fitchburg by a point. Dan, thank you so much for being here with us. Happy Thanksgiving. We're going to let you get back to the truck. We'll bring in Mike Flynn here. Thank you again, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, John. Thank you for having me on the pregame.
All right. We'll hear from Dave Clark momentarily, but for now we turn our attention to Mike Flynn. Mike, welcome, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Well, same to you, John. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody out there listening and watching.
And again, if you're just joining us at home, folks, this is the 125th anniversary of the rivalry, Fitchburg versus Leominster, here at Crocker Field. Mike, what does this game mean to you?
Well, it's tradition for one thing, and I was trying to figure out this morning how many I've done of these. Dave and I have been together for 39 years. I did miss one year. I think it was back in 1988 when I actually did a play-by-play. I know you find that hard to believe, but yes.
I'm sure you have it in you.
St. Bernard's and Clinton played, and they were both playing for the championship, and I ended up going down to Clinton with Randy Pierce to do that game. And Fitchburg got hammered here at Crocker Field that year in 1988.
And every hit that Randy Pierce had,
every play was a draw play, according to Randy.
Draw play.
So this will be my 39th game here.
39.
Yeah.
So if he did one without you, Dave, does that mean this is your 38th?
I have no
He's
no
over
idea.
40. This might be his 40th.
I'm probably over, yeah, because Joe,
You
Joe
did a
White
couple with Joe
also.
before that.
Yeah. It was Joe White. It was before that, Tom Connery, I think, and down the line there. But this is going to be kind of interesting. This has its own game coming to them with the way that Devin is ready for, on the Blue Devil scheme of things. And, kind of talking with Billy a few minutes down there, he's got all sorts of things running through his heads, with his kid and his, but in
Of course,
the
that's
end,
Bill Gates, the former president of FATV, who
Yes.
is wearing blue today.
Wearing blue,
he's
yeah.
wearing blue. Yeah, but
It's fine.
he's a great family, and talked with Devin earlier today. Good guy, solid human being, and he's ready
Nothing
to go.
but good things to say about Bill Gates.
Leominster got a good pick in him. Absolutely.
And we'll see, hopefully, a little bit of Devin Gates as we get underway here today. We're just under 10 minutes away from kickoff here at Crocker Field. Looks like a very healthy crowd already in attendance. But if you folks are watching us at home in Fitchburg and feel like braving the reasonable elements, I mean, the sun is coming out. It's a little windy, but it's not very cold. Still, obviously, plenty of seats available here at Crocker Field. But if you're at home, or if you know someone in Leominster, or really anywhere across this land of ours who would like to watch this game online, you can watch the live stream, which is available, as you can see there, at fatv.org. Just look for the education stream, and that will take you to live coverage of this game. And indeed, every live event on FATV available at fatv.org. Now, Mike, I put Dan Bolek on the spot. I'm going to put you on the spot as well. Pick a winner.
I can't tell you how bad we've been predicting this game over the years. Now, everybody's going to say it's going to be a defensive game because that's what it's going to be. But every time we thought that, it turns into a score fest. But with Okendo out, that makes it really difficult for Fitchburg. So, and Leominster's played really well down the stretch. I think the Blue Devils pull this one out in a close one.
Okay. So Dan Bolek has picked Fitchburg. Mike Flynn has picked Leominster. Dave Clark, what do you think?
Has anybody officially given you a word that he will not be home?
Yes.
They said he
High
will
ankle
not
sprain.
play.
He's out with a high ankle sprain.
Well, in that case, making it official, that kind of hurts things for the Red Raiders. But could be could be a big opportunity for one of these kids to step up.
You don't get to both sides this Dave. You need to pick a winner.
Well, I think no. Actually, no. I can do it by myself. No. No,
He's a politician. He can sit the fence.
That's true. This is very true.
not for long.
No.
Not for long.
It's still got a month to go.
I still do it. A month ago. The bands are out there.
All right. That sounds like
That's a politician.
that sounds like he's changing the subject here.
I mean, does anybody care? Okay, go ahead. I'll take Fitchburg by 15.
Okay.
Ooh, and a
All right. Fitchburg.
That's only because I have no idea what. Who cares?
All right.
I don't believe there's any. Well, I forgot Louis not here. Louis had a special walk-up.
All right. We'll take a break for the national anthem and be right back. It's Thanksgiving here on FATV. This 125th anniversary of the rivalry here on FATV is brought to you in part by the help of our football underwriters who help bring this and every football broadcast to you here on FATV. We want to thank IC Credit Union, North End Subaru, Romano's Market, Grand Rental Station, the Neshoba Valley Medical Center, Red Apple Farm, and Fitchburg State University. So, Dave, you tried to dodge it early. I'm going to put you on the spot. You chose Fitchburg by 15, though, right? That's your pick. Oh, he's smiling.
I don't know.
All right. All right. So Mike,
wait a minute. Isn't any games prohibited by the MIAA? You can't bet.
For entertainment,
This is
entertainment purposes only.
Exactly.
Okay, now that changes
Entertainment
things.
purposes only.
Okay, they got to win by 17.
Okay. All right. So Mike and Dave have chosen Fitchburg. Dan Bolak chose Leominster. The real question is, do I want to be mean to Dan and make him the only guy who picked Leominster?
Actually, Dan picked Fitchburg.
Dan picked Fitchburg.
I picked Leominster.
You picked Leominster.
Yeah.
So I could be mean to you. Well, that changes. I don't want to be mean to you because you're right next to me.
I don't mind being out on a limb.
No. Me and Mike, we're buddies. We're in this together. I'm picking Leominster. Leominster by 13.
I would like to see Fitchburg win. But
well, sure.
You asked me to be honest.
We are biased.
You asked me to be honest.
Yes. At least two of us. Oh, you took off your beanie. One of us is wearing an FATV beanie. And one of us specifically dressed in red and gray. So. Oh, I've shamed them.
They're
putting on their
I'm not
beanies.
putting it on. I'm just holding it up.
Okay.
That's it. For every 40 years, you get one of these.
You get a beanie. Yep.
Oh, I hope it's not every 40 years. I've got like 10.
No, it was very good. Thank you, guys in the truck. We appreciate that very much.
See there, the Raiders are getting ready to take the field. Obviously, both teams in their colored jerseys today. Fitchburg will be in the crimson. We settled on crimson for that, right?
Crimson, Cardinal, brick, whatever you want to call it.
No, Cardinal's brighter than that.
It's dark red.
They'll be in the red with the white. Leominster will be in blue jerseys and pants with white numbers and helmets. We are just a few minutes away from kickoff here at Crocker Field as the Raiders take the field.
And the last couple of games that they've had, there's been a problem with Fitchburg is their team kicking off, beginning the
Starting the game, yeah.
That's it. That's it.
You got it.
Yeah. Humana. I sound like Jerry Lewis.
Well, special teams has been an issue for Fitchburg all season. In addition to kickoffs, we've seen it on punt returns a lot of the time, Mike. That's been a pet peeve of ours.
Well, I think their bigger problem is they've taken, most of their games, they've taken a long time to get going. They've started off flat. They've got behind in almost every game.
Yep.
And they've had to rally in a lot of their wins in the second half. And without Okendo, he was really their big playmaker. And, it'd be tough for them to come back getting down a couple of touchdowns, especially with the wind, because it's going to be hard to throw the ball if you go into the River Street end.
It's a very strong wind coming, as you said, Mike, from River Street, so from the left to the right. The flag right now is pretty much straight out. Fitchburg captains are heading to midfield. We'll see there left to right for Fitchburg. It's Giovanni Moroni and then Anthony Arujo. The man in the middle is Luis Alderondo, who's been out all season with a leg injury. Montgomery Graham is a captain for Fitchburg as well. And then there's D. Jones on the far side.
A little quick thing about the field as we go along. Yes, there is a stripe right down the middle of the field. That's going to be taken care of by fertilizer and so forth. They've already had 3 or 4 chances to throw some stuff in there.
Well, there's only so much you can do with the middle of a football field. That's where all of the action is.
Well,
they're going to keep working on it. They're just not going to sit there and let it go.
No, absolutely.
They're going to feed it, water it, feed it, water it, feed it, and that's the way it goes.
No, come September, it'll be looking right as rain.
This field's in tremendous shape.
Yeah,
For
considering.
Thanksgiving Day. There have been times in the past where between the hash marks it's been all dirt at this point.
No, we've seen it a lot worse here. We've seen it worse elsewhere.
They've taken good care of it this year. They haven't let a lot of people play on it as they have in the past, and have kept it in really good playable condition.
So Fitchburg won the coin toss and deferred. So Leominster will receive the opening kickoff. Fitchburg will receive to start the third quarter.
Well, no surprise you want to put your defense out there first. That's been the strength of your team.
Just about ready for the 114th Thanksgiving meeting between Fitchburg and Leominster, the 138th overall. And of course, this is the 125th anniversary of the rivalry. It's a rivalry that dates back to 1894.
Looks like Billy Goslin is out there today. He appears to look that way down on my right.
Yes, that's the Goose.
He'll be the man in the white hat, our referee today. We'll hopefully hear from him, but not very much.
He's done a number of these games now. It used to be that whole pro group from Massachusetts before, or Rhode Island. And since then, it's been, you know, from the games that we've seen, I think everything was kind of all right. Yeah, there were no problems.
Back when they used to bring those guys in from out of state, it turned into a flag fest.
Not good.
All right, we've had plenty of pomp and circumstance, but now it's time for football. Fitchburg versus Leominster. We're just about ready for kickoff here on FATV. Justin Kamasana will kick it away for Fitchburg. Set back deep to return for Leominster. Looks like J.V. Rodriguez and Justice Reynolds.
Watch out for the kicker today. We've talked about him an awful lot. And we're underway.
No, we're not. The ball fell off the tee.
And a whiff.
Is that
A whiff.
That's over the line?
I don't think that counts.
I would, just for laughs.
We mentioned there is a very strong wind blowing left to right into the back of that football. Kamasana will tee it up again. I think if it falls off one more time, they have to hold it.
So he's going to have to hold it if it falls off. I think, I don't know, I'm not sure about the Federation.
All right, we are underway. Kamasana's kick is away, high, end over end. Goes through Reynolds' hands, picks it up around the 6-yard line. Cuts up the far sideline, gets a block. Justin Reynolds is into the last level, only the kicker to beat. Kamasana turns him back toward the middle, and he is brought down into Raider territory. Justice Reynolds, with a 50-yard kickoff return, gets to the Red Raider 45-yard line. It's a heck of a way for Leominster to start this game, Mike.
Yeah, you often see that when the kickoff is fumbled and all the guys get out of their lanes. And the kicker was able to slow him down enough to make the tackle from behind, but Leominster gets the ball in Fitchburg territory to start.
Officially a 49-yard return. Caden Constant, the sophomore quarterback for Leominster, keeps it on the first down play. Gains about 3 yards. He's brought down by Gabriel Rivera. Again, that's Caden Constant. He's a sophomore. 3 rushing touchdowns, 4 passing touchdowns for him on the season.
He was not the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. I believe J.C. Cora was the original quarterback, and he got hurt.
Injured in the second game of the season. Constant has trouble with the snap, keeps it himself. Plunges forward. Second effort is going to get him very close. He's going to get the first down. Looked for a second, Dave, like he was going to be 2-3 yards shy of the line to gain, but that second effort picked up the first down for him.
It's not good when your quarterback's running over people for the Fitchburg defense. Should have stopped him way short of that first down.
Constant had trouble with the snap, faked the handoff. You see there, that second effort just keeping his legs driving. Now back to live action, run to the left
There's
side.
a flag.
Justice Reynolds the
Thought
carry.
I saw a flag.
Don't see a flag. We do see a loss of about 3.
It's
It's here on the near sideline. I saw it go flying in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, there is in fact a flag.
I saw it right in front of the Fitchburg bench.
That penalty be declined. Second down.
Motion on Leominster, so Fitchburg will take the loss on the play.
Rather than 5 yards and repeat the down, they'll lose 2 yards and keep the down. Good tackle there by Colin Dudek for Fitchburg.
They got a really good favorable spot.
That's a very bad snap. It rolls into the hands of Justice Reynolds, and he is brought down. Mike, Leominster has run, 4 plays, and they've had trouble with 2 snaps already.
Yeah, having trouble with the handle. This time in the shotgun, it just rolls its way back. And fortunately, the running back, Reynolds, was right there to scoop it up. Still lost a couple of yards on the play, but that could have been disaster for the Blue Devils.
I know it's November, but it's good that Justice Reynolds has been doing his infield practice. Looked like he was fielding a grounder
Yeah,
there.
did a nice job. Leg spread, butt down.
Yeah.
Didn't come up
Watch
on
it into your hands.
Yep.
Didn't Buckner it. But unfortunately, he was unable to get any yardage, actually lost a few. It'll now be 3rd down and 15 for the Blue Devils. They need to get to Fitchburg's 23. Motion, and Constant has more trouble with the snap. Keeps it himself, running to the left.
They're going to kill the play.
They're going to
You're gonna
Why?
I think they're going to say Constant when he went down to scoop up the ball.
No, he
his knee
wasn't.
was well, they killed the play, and that's where they're marking it.
They are, in fact, blowing the play dead all the way back at the 44-yard line. I mean, to the naked eye, I didn't think his knee was anywhere close to the ground. We'll take a look at this one again. So Constant has trouble with the snap right there.
Oh, he did?
He did, in fact, touch his left knee down after he got the ball. Okay. Now, the punt for Leominster is not a particularly good one. It's going to roll inside the 20 and be down to there. Leominster having a lot of trouble just with the fundamentals here, having the snap, go through the quarterback's hands or not even get there. A lot of trouble getting the punt away.
Young quarterback, that was a blooper there, and the ball kind of gets blown.
Almost blocked.
Yep.
Gabriel Rivera came in.
So Leominster unable to capitalize on that good kickoff return to start the game.
Had the great return, got one first down, but then the drive petered out from there. Fitchburg will take over 1st and 10, pretty much right at the 20-yard line. 9 minutes, 11 seconds to play here, just underway in the first quarter. Montgomery Graham under center. He's got Barasano in the backfield, and it is Devin Barasano, the ball carrier. He gets a couple of yards off the left tackle.
Well, this is where Fitchburg has had any kind of chance for momentum. They score, or they get one in, or don't, and they get it on the other side as well.
I'm sure they'd like to get at least a couple of first downs and try to flip the field position back.
Yep. 2nd and long.
2nd down, 7 for the Raiders. Graham will go from the shotgun. He's got Barasano to his left. Keeps it himself. Runs into a whole host of Blue Devils. Now he's getting shoved forward by his offensive line. And they're going to give him forward progress across the 30, and that's going to be a Raider first down.
I say, that didn't seem, that ball seemed to stop, or should have stopped.
It was totally
earlier.
stopped. I mean, are we wrong, Mike? This ball.
Well, it looks like the forward momentum stops, but if we watch his feet, it looks like he's not going anywhere, but they don't blow the whistle, and as you mentioned, the offensive line just got behind him and did the old rugby scrum.
He's trying to drive forward, but there's no traction there. But they give him the second effort. So it's 1st and 10 Fitchburg now at the 32. Barasano takes it running to the left. A flag comes in.
Or a flag, I'm sorry about that.
Barasano runs into a heck full of Devils. But we will check the foul. Flag was thrown right into the line of scrimmage. Usually a hold.
Yeah, the umpire threw it in the pile, so.
Personal foul, chop block, number 63 and 74 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. We play first down.
You can hear the wind howling over the referee's microphone.
Sounds more like Ric Flair than anything else.
Matthias Ramos and Armando Baez called for the chop block against the Raiders. That'll back them up 15 yards.
It wasn't much of a chop block either, if you can see it on the replay.
It's going to be make it 1st and 25. Fitchburg needs to get all the way out to the 43-yard line. They're inside their own 20. Graham under center. Barasano still in the backfield. And Barasano gets the first down carry. And he runs right into the arms of the Leominster defender. It's Jack Philbin with the first hit. Gain of maybe 2.
Every time I say this, I get in trouble, but it's a fast-moving game.
So far,
a fast-moving game.
Well, you'll have that a lot. Both of these teams like to keep the ball on the ground. Both teams with stout defenses as well.
Fitchburg's going to have to put the ball in the air a couple times here to loosen up Leominster's defense.
Blue Devils have essentially 10 men in the box, nobody more than 8 yards downfield. Graham will keep it on 2nd down, gets a few. He's out to maybe the 24-yard line.
Graham on the carry.
It's not the kind of play that's going to loosen up that defense, though, Mike.
No, and I think the other thought is they don't want to turn the ball over deep here and give Leominster a big advantage.
It's true.
Due to the fact that it is 3rd and 20.
Maybe a little extra pressure here, I don't know.
If you're going to take your shots in the game, you want to take it with the times you have the wind.
Wind has kind of died down, but it is still fluttering out there. Again, wind blowing left to right when it deigns to blow. It's a beautiful shot.
Good call
of the area around Crocker Field here.
And a whistle.
And we get whistles before the play.
Play of game.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So that'll back the Raiders up even further, and it'll be 3rd and 23. See there, Coach Tom DiGeronimo grabbing the hot hands. I don't blame him. It's chilly down there. 3rd and 23. Graham back to pass. Looking to his left, throws left. Pass is complete. Back at the original line of scrimmage, but that's still 10 yards shy of what was needed. Donovan DeLeon, the reception. So Fitchburg will take the moral victory of the 10-yard play.
I think the flag came out late at the end of this play.
Yeah, I think it came out late, too.
Let's take a look at this, see if we can spot the reason for the parchment.
The play does get tackled out of bounds into the Leominster bench.
Dead ball on sportsmanlike conduct. Number 9 of the offense, 15-yard penalty. It'll be 4th down. That is his first UNS of the game.
Unsportsmanlike conduct was called against Donovan DeLeon after the play was over. So that will negate all of the yardage that was gained by the catch and then some. So Fitchburg, even though they completed that pass, will still wind up hunting from pretty deep in their own territory. Kamasana is set up at about his own 3 as he receives this snap.
Also a recurring theme for Fitchburg all year, undisciplined penalties.
Tackled immediately is J.V. Rodriguez. Caught that ball on the run, looked for a second like he might want to break it loose, but Rodriguez was hit as soon as he caught the ball.
Right there.
Now Rodriguez caught the ball at the 43. He was speared back to the 44, and they've spotted him at the 45. Okay.
Apparently there's no forward progress.
Leominster once again starting at the Fitchburg 45. Second time today they've had that benefit. Constant play action goes over the middle. That pass is complete. He's got the big tight end Darian O'Brien deeper into Raider territory. It's a gain of about 23 and a first down for the Blue Devils.
Constant, who struggled on the last drive, stands right in the pocket, drills it to his big tight end, right down the seam on first down against the wind. Puts Leominster just outside the red zone.
Very simple play call there. Just go play action. Tight end basically runs a streak. Now first down for Blue Devils. Running to the left is Bryant Cordero, his first carry of the day. Cordero's got a couple of rushing touchdowns on the season for Leominster. And he has about 4 yards there.
So 2nd and 7. Ball at the 20.
Cordero's a big guy, Dave.
That was clearly a late hit at the end of that play, too.
Second down.
False start, 60 offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Left guard who moved before the snap.
Frank Apoku guilty of the false start.
Bringing up 2nd down once again.
Negates the yardage gained on first down. We'll make it now 2nd down and 12 for Leominster.
Ball at the 24.
Saw the Blue Devils kicking toward this end of the field during practice, and they did not make a single one. Cordero gets the carry here on 2nd down. He's back maybe a yard beyond the original line of scrimmage. That'll make it 3rd and 9.
Gain of about 3. Going to be 3rd and 9.
Liam Curtin will head to the sidelines for Leominster. Actually bring in J.C. Cora, the guy who started the season as their quarterback. He's going to line up as a wide receiver. Core's in the far slot, and he jumped well before the snap there.
Flag goes down.
Looks like Canada.
Ball start. Number 6 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
5 yards offside.
He thought it was on 2, and obviously it was on 3. You'd think the guy who started the season as the quarterback would know the snap counts. But you would think a lot of things, wouldn't you?
We'll try it again.
Coach, look at what he's doing there. Both coaches.
Third down and about 15 now. Play action. Constant under a lot of pressure. This is a duck, and it is intercepted.
Looks like D. Jones on the interception.
D. Jones with the pick. Caden Constant had absolutely no time to get a good pass away, and it floated right into the arms of D. Jones.
Constant under pressure right away here from Fitchburg. You saw the wind just take effect of this ball, just blew it up like a big balloon. And that allowed D. Jones to run under it. Just like a punt, though, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's Fitchburg back at their own 6.
It's a really good coffin corner arm punt, which is not a phrase you hear that often, but that's the effect. Fitchburg does get the ball, but they have it at their own 6-yard line. Montgomery Graham will go under center.
Levis is offside.
And we get neutral zone infraction on the Blue Devils.
Encroachment defense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's a big 5 yards, Mike. It'll get the Raiders out from the shadow of their own goalpost.
There's also a lot of chatting going on both sides already.
Are you telling me that Fitchburg and Leominster don't like each other?
Well, sometimes I think it's overplayed a lot, but
could there be some kind of rivalry between these two cities?
There's been a lot of chapping going on early.
Coach Gates.
And somewhere down there is the turncoat Bill Gates.
Wow, you guys turned on him early, didn't you?
Graham keeps it himself here on 1st and 5. Gets about half of what was needed.
I was taken aback. I saw his interview with Devin on LTV, and gee, I haven't seen Billy in blue a lot.
Yeah, he looks very different.
The worst part of it is that blue is an objectively better color than red. But, you know, loyalty.
I guess the Blue Devil thing on it didn't help either. But
So after the keeper by Graham, it'll be 2nd down and a long 2. As we approach 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter, no score. Raiders have 2 men in the backfield. Barasano takes the carry. He gets a great block. He's across the 40, brought down just across midfield, and a flag comes in after the play. Devin Barasano explodes with his biggest run of the game. Didn't see anything wrong with the tackle, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Call it a horse collar. I didn't see that either.
First down.
Well, let's take a look at that one.
A horse collar tackle at the end of the play gives Fitchburg another 15 yards. Let's take a look at it here.
Barasano had a big hole to run through, and it's off to the races. Now it's a foot race. So
he's got him. I think that's a good horse collar. Well, it's a good call. It's a bad thing to do. But you could see there, I believe it was Liam Curtin for Leominster who did have his left hand around the back of the neck of Barasano's jersey and then used that to pull him down. And you can't do that. Montgomery Graham will keep on 1st down. Runs right into a big blue wall and is shoved backward.
A little resistance to that one.
Design quarterback run right from the get-go.
Not much there.
A host of Blue Devils.
Jack Philbin and Micah Stinson leading the assault for Leominster. Just over a minute left to play here in Q1. couple more plays for Fitchburg with the wind.
See if Fitchburg takes a shot deep here with the wind here in the last minute of the first quarter.
If they're going to do it, now's the time. High formation behind Graham. He will pitch to Barisano. Barisano runs off tackle, gains maybe 2-3 yards before he's brought down.
I was watching Commissaro, the kicker for Fitchburg, warm up with the wind, and he hit the crossbar from the 50.
I believe that. Commissano's got a very strong leg.
Saw a couple of times. They smack it pretty well.
From right here, it would be 44 yards.
Of course, you're going to have to hurry here with the clock running under 15 seconds now.
Now, Fitchburg might not even get the third down play off.
Taking a long time to get it in and out off the sideline. At this point, a field goal is just about off the board.
They'll run the pitch again to Barisano, running to the right. He is wrapped up immediately. That will be the final play of the first quarter. Anthony Tossi comes out of it, taking credit for the
That's
tackle.
the end of the first period.
An awful long time to get a toss sweep. That's for sure.
And as we reach the end of the first quarter, we want to thank once again our football underwriters. They include Fitchburg State University, the Red Apple Farm, Neshoba Valley Medical Center, Grand Rental Station, Romano's Market, North End Subaru, and of course IC Credit Union. So Mike, a scoreless first quarter, both teams moving the ball a little effectively on the ground, neither team really doing much through the air. Did you see any team really having an advantage in that first quarter?
No, actually, Leominster squandered a couple opportunities. They took over the ball twice in Fitchburg territory and couldn't come away with points. And Fitchburg here on their first time crossing midfield, but Fitchburg's defense, and Leominster made a couple of mistakes to stop their own drives with some penalties.
We see right there the interception that ended Leominster's last possession. This is what Fitchburg has done with the ball coming out of the drive. Obviously, the big play here, the run by Devin Barisano, and you got a great shot of it there, the horse collar tackle. It's a big part of the reason why Fitchburg has it where they are. They've run this toss sweep on the last two plays, haven't gained much with it. Now it's 4th down and 6. Fitchburg now going into the wind, so they'll obviously not kick a field goal here, but they will elect to go for it. 4th and 6 from the 27-yard line. Graham back to pass, looking long to the left. He wants the end zone. It's tipped and it is incomplete. Donovan DeLeon had a step on Liam Curtin. Graham couldn't deliver the ball, gave Curtin time to recover. Dave, Liam Curtin saves a touchdown on this play.
He has, I'm sure we'll see there it is. Look at it, steps up, throws, had a pop.
Just a beat late throwing the ball, and the wind held it up just enough for the defensive play there for Leominster to come across and make the play there. LT Curtin.
The wind comes into play again. Fitchburg turns it over on downs. Leominster now. Vashawn Dixon gets the carry on first down, and Dixon gets absolutely nothing. Runs into a bunch of Masons and is thrown backward.
There's movement amongst others on the tackle for the Red Raiders. Loss of 2. 32nd and 12. The ball at the 25.
Not much doing there for Dixon on first down. It'll be 2nd and 13 for Leominster. They need to get out to their own 37-yard line. And off to Dixon on 2nd down, and he is spun around and driven to the turf.
Wow.
Jesus Padilla. Swing your partner round and round.
Padilla coming from the opposite side, runs him down from behind, and
You can't grab the back of the neck, but you can absolutely grab him around the waist and just circle him.
Bring back the old tearaways of the 70s.
Dixon gained maybe a yard.
A lot of people on this side of the field.
There's a lot of people everywhere. They are up on the hill. They're up on the Leominster sideline. Crowd is really filling out here at Crocker Field. Now throwing deep on third down. It's a jump ball, and it is brought down. Arlie Gillot with a heck of a catch. Went up there and pulled it out of the air. It's a good high throw by Constant. Mike, take a look at this one.
Well, Gillot's 6'2", and he's just going to out-jump the defensive back.
It's a 30-yard gain. 6'2" of Arlie Gillot. Easily the tallest kid on the field. They're going to go deep for him again. This pass is overthrown, however, and it nearly fell into the arms of D. Jones. Caden Constant gave it everything he had, and that was a little too much.
Well, somebody misread here because Gillot kind of held up, and he was looking for the ball to be thrown short, and then it was thrown deep.
Yeah. A couple of yards. That's a completed ball. And it is, and then it goes second down, and we got a full 10 coming up.
2nd and 10 for the Blue Devils. Once again at the Fitchburg 45-yard line. They seem to like that Fitchburg 45. Constant will keep it himself. Plunges forward to about the 40. Couldn't tell if that was a designed keep all the way or if that was an option play. What do you think, Mike?
I think that was a designed. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's a design. He pulled it out, went straight ahead. And this will be Leominster's third trip into Fitchburg territory. 3 possessions.
First time they've earned it. The first 2, they've just been given the ball. 3rd and 5 for the Blue Devils. They need the Red Raider 35-yard line. Man in motion, fake the jet sweep, now handoff straight up the middle. He's going to be short of the line to gain is Bryant Cordero. It'll be 4th and 1. I've got to think the Blue Devils will go for it here.
It's a lot longer than it was when they looked like it's going to be.
They got a pretty good spot out of
it's
that.
going to go a good full 2 yards here to get a first down.
Still 4th and 2 at the 37. Quarterback keeper. Nice simple play call. Caden Constant lines up. Not quite deep enough for a punt, but deeper than your traditional shotgun. He's got 3 blockers in front of him.
That was the key. Well blocked. Fitchburg got no penetration, and Constant was able to get a full head of steam and get 4 yards and a first down.
And that kind of formation, that's a formation Leominster rather could do a pooch punt from if they want to going forward. It's a really interesting formation on 4th down. Now play fake the jet sweep again, handoff straight up the middle to Justice Reynolds. And Reynolds gets about 4. Justice Reynolds, the senior. 5 rushing touchdowns for him on the season. A couple of times already, Mike, Leominster's faked that jet sweep. They haven't gone to it yet, but I'm sure it'll be there for them if they need it. 2nd and 7, Reynolds the carry, and he is hit immediately. Colin Dudek and Jamarco Santiago there.
Yeah, the Fitchburg defense is going to crash down on the end here and meet right at the ball carrier.
Loss of a yard for Reynolds. It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Blue Devils. They're at the 30, they need the 23. If you're thinking about the wind, it's pretty much died. Breaking out of one tackle, picking up the first down. There's a flag down. Right now, Bryant Cordero has a first down, but it all comes down to the flag. Get it from Dave Douglas.
Holding, number 1 of the offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
The Fitchburg sideline explodes. Hold against Leominster negates the first down. Take a look at it here. It'll be at the top of your screen from number 1, Arlie Gillot.
It's right at the end of the play, too, right there.
Right there. I mean, he's got a handful of D. Jones. He's almost got him in an arm bar. You can't do that.
It is a spot foul in the Federation rules, so it turns out to be 3rd down and 7 again.
So he had already picked up the first down yardage from where the penalty is assessed, but that brings them back. It'll be 3rd and 7. Once again, Leominster needs to get to the 23. Caden Constant from the shotgun, play fake, wants to go over the middle. Now throws, there's a flag down, jump ball in the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Blue Devils, but there is a flag on the play, and there's another flag after the play.
And you get a flag, and you get a flag. I'm gonna guess that the way that first flag came on, it might be an ineligible receiver downfield.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 82 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, they play 3rd down.
So there's an ineligible receiver called against Leominster. That will negate the touchdown. There was also a flag thrown after the play. So let's hopefully keep this one going.
That was a heck of a catch.
It's a great catch. But then,
obviously this was some sort of unsportsmanlike at the end of the play. Billy Gosselin will let us know.
After the play, dead ball and sportsmanlike conduct, number 82 of the offense, results in a 15-yard penalty. That is his first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game.
so a 5-yard penalty for the ineligible man downfield, and the 15-yard dead ball foul against Leominster will result in the Blue Devils conceding 20 yards of field position and now being faced with 3rd and 27.
They go from a touchdown to 3rd down and 27.
Dave, we're positioned here at Crocker Field just beneath the coach's box, and you heard as well as I did, Fitchburg's coaches shouted with joy as those penalties were called against Leominster. Now 3rd and 27, Justice Reynolds takes the ball, and he gains a few yards, running to the right, nowhere near what he needed to gain. Leominster thought they had a touchdown, but instead they're going to have to kick it away. It's a tough series of breaks for the Blue Devils.
Well, there seems to be an awful lot of shuffling going on for a punt. Now they call a timeout.
First charge timeout, Leominster.
Heard our referee, Billy Gosselin, there. It's the first charged timeout for the Blue Devils. They have 2 remaining. Mike, are you still very, very happy about the timeout changes?
They could have made just that one rule change, and they should have made it 100 years ago, but they had to switch the entire rule package around to get it by the coaches.
But it's worth it, right?
Well, yeah. There's some rules I don't like about the Federation. I don't like the kill the play.
Yeah.
I'm sure the band will be out at halftime.
Absolutely. There will be performances by the Leominster and Fitchburg band. We will also have Chad Garner and Jack Callahan with us. They'll be conducting some interviews. So plenty of action coming up at halftime, but of course there's still 6 minutes and 11 seconds to play here in the second quarter. I'm getting word that Bill Gates will be joining us as well, so there will be...
Wow, you guys are going to let him on air? Wow. Okay.
Well, we're letting him on air right now. He's right in the middle of your screen.
What are you going to like black him out?
You know,
the old wrestling, you're going to put the X up?
I tell you what, he's coaching a game. We might not get him for an interview, but at least we're getting him on TV right there. Leominster actually lined up to go for it on 4th down.
Okay.
Fitchburg wasn't ready for that.
First charge timeout, Fitchburg.
I mean, you guys have known me long enough to know that I love being aggressive on 4th down. I don't know that I necessarily love going for it on 4th and 18, but on the other hand, you know, you throw an incomplete pass or you throw a deep pass that gets intercepted, what are the odds that Fitchburg drives 80 yards against you?
Well, the odds, I don't have the exact odds, but I can imagine the odds of 4th and 18 aren't very high.
That's true. Leominster already up over 50 yards, 55 penalty yards assessed against the Blue Devils. We've once again got Sean Sweeney up in the press box with us, feeding us these stats. Thank you, Sean.
The check's in the mail.
Oh. Hey,
already scratched. Yeah.
It's happened.
So 4th and 18 for Leominster. They're at the Fitchburg 41. They need to get to the 23. Send a man in motion to the far side. Constant Flakes over the middle. Throws high and incomplete. He was trying to find Darian O'Brien. O'Brien had some open space. Constant couldn't deliver the ball.
And so we take over.
Take a look at this one again, Mike.
Pump fake.
Looking long and then trying to come back to the tight end over the middle, and that ball was way overthrown.
So the Fitchburg defense stops Leominster's 4th down attempt. They get their best field position of the day, 1st and 10 at their own 41. 6 minutes and 2 timeouts, plenty of time for the Raiders to run their offense. They don't necessarily need to hurry. They don't necessarily need to go to the air. Fitchburg will line up in the 3-man eye for the first time today. Pitch to the deep pass. Ball comes loose. Mass Newton picks it up. We're trying to pitch it to Gabriel Rivera. Rivera never got a handle on it. Newton fell on it. Fitchburg is very fortunate that Leominster didn't get a gift here.
We've gotten a few gifts throughout this game.
Both ways have had trouble holding on to the ball. That pitch wasn't bad.
38-yard line.
Rivera just couldn't put it away. And
Rivera was trying to catch that pitch on the run, and he couldn't bring it in. See there, Maz Newton, the man who saved possession for Fitchburg. Now on 2nd down, they'll hand it to Devin Barasano coming out of that second fullback position. He gets back maybe to the original line of scrimmage. Call it a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Picks up the 3. Back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
second man in the stat.
That's a big guy right there, I'll tell you.
He's big.
It's a very large gentleman that he ran into. I believe that's Micah Stinson. Yeah, big number 52 in blue. So St. Bernard's transfer now playing for Leominster High. It's a big force to be reckoned with from that nose tackle spot. 3rd and 10 now for Fitchburg. 2 men in the backfield with Montgomery Graham. Pumps right, throws right. It's behind his receiver, but it is caught. Brian Rivera with the catch right at the sticks. That'll be a 1st down for Fitchburg.
Right on that 1st down marker.
Right at the top of the F, painted at the 50-yard line.
Deepest penetration of the day? They've had 1 or 2. That's about it, right?
I believe it is. Just inside Blue Devil territory. 1st and 10 Fitchburg at the 49-yard line. 4 minutes, 10 seconds to play here in what has been a scoreless first half. Graham will keep it himself, gets some blocks. Doesn't get enough, though. He gains maybe 2 yards on the play. Mike, we've seen a lot of Montgomery Graham running the ball. He came, it's been progressively over the course of the season. There was a lot of it in the Tantascwa game.
I think they've been forced with the injuries to Quendo that they've had to put more of the carrying of the football on Montgomery's back, and he's carried the ball numerous times here in the first half.
Again, folks, if you missed it at the start of the broadcast, Anthony Oquendo is not playing today. He is out with a high ankle sprain. So Fitchburg is without their best offensive weapon. Now 2nd down and 8, play fake. Graham keeps it himself, running to the right, trying to dance through the blocks. He gains about 3 yards, but all in all, Leominster does a good job containing him. It'll be 3rd down and call it 6.
Ball at the 45.
Fake to Barasano to the left and Montgomery out to the right. Does gain a couple of yards.
They pull the left guard, Giovanni Long, from that left guard position, have him lead for Graham going to the right. Create an extra blocker there. Graham was able to get a couple of yards, but not quite what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 for Fitchburg. And if you're Leominster, you stop them here, maybe call timeout, get the ball back with some time to work. Barasano with the carry, breaks out of one tackle. He plunges forward and gains 3 yards, but that's 3 fewer than what he needed. So Fitchburg comes up short.
And no hesitation from the Fitchburg side. The punt, well, maybe not.
They started sending out the punt team.
The punt team came out, but they changed their mind. I was just going to say, that short gain at the end there makes the decision a little bit more difficult. This could be a ruse, just trying to draw him offside.
A ruse.
Well, we've seen Fitchburg fooled by this many times. Are you saying it could be a ploy?
Could be.
A plot?
A plot.
A plan? A trick?
More difficult to do from the shotgun, however.
Maybe they're just going to go for it. Montgomery Graham looks to throw. He's got all day. Now under pressure from behind him. Going to keep it himself. Runs into his own man. He's got the first down. Stop the clock. Move the chains. Montgomery Graham gains 5 yards.
That's a big one in the play box.
Leominster dropped a bunch of guys back into coverage and gave Montgomery the entire morning to survey the field and finally find a hole.
He's got his appetizer, he's got his first course, he's got his turkey, his gravy. Finally, he has to move.
And a glass of eggnog to get the first down.
I'm not an eggnog.
Neither am I, to be honest.
I can be forced.
I like eggnog.
How much rum is in your eggnog?
How dare you?
Now.
Okay.
That's against MIAA regulations.
That's right.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Raiders have it 1st and 10 at the Blue Devil 37. Almost a minute left to play. Devin Barasano gets the carry. Now Fitchburg does have to be mindful of the time. They have 2 timeouts remaining, and they will take one here.
Call the time?
Yep.
Okay.
1 left.
Saw Giovanni Long there wondering where a flag was.
Second charge timeout, Fitchburg.
Let's take a look at this one here. Long is number 72. He's engaged with 72 on Leominster side. That's Joe Conlon. Couldn't see exactly what had Giovanni Long so upset, but he was very adamant, wanting a flag thrown against the Blue Devil defense.
72.
72 on 72 there.
Class
Joe
of
Conlon
72.
matched up with Giovanni Long. Long wanted a flag, didn't get it. So in the 2nd down and about 6 coming up. Saw there just went away. Fitchburg has 1 timeout remaining, 1 minute left to play here in the quarter. We'll take a look at this one again. 72 is your left tackle at the bottom of your screen. He's engaged with Conlon, shoves him off there. Shoves him again. There's just some shoving going on there. I think that's just football.
Shot again.
Graham under pressure. Now keeps it himself. Across the 30 to the 25. He's tackled inbounds, but across the first down marker. So they'll stop the clock for just a second to move the chains.
Plenty of time.
52 seconds still to play. Fitchburg with 1 timeout, but they will hurry to the line. Once again, Graham looked to pass, didn't see anything, decided to keep it himself. Justice Reynolds made the tackle for Leominster. Clock continues to move, now under 40 seconds to play. Graham rolls right, throws right to the sideline. It's caught, but out of bounds. Donovan DeLeon could get neither of his feet down, so it's an incomplete pass.
With that last play, he initiated the hit on that play.
DeLeon shows some good hands here at the end of this play. That's a tough catch, but
Yeah.
way out of bounds.
I said he's going to hit that thing right there.
It's a very
Get up
tough
off your,
catch.
off your TVs and say that's where it was right there.
Almost
Hey,
took-
they're over the big F over there. You see
Once
that?
again, DeLeon making the catch, but neither of his feet come down inbounds. Just need 1, but he could get neither.
almost lost one of the chain guys.
Sideline warning.
Uh-oh.
Leominster, that's their first break.
Boy, every time Bill Goslin turns on that microphone, you just hear the wind whipping through.
Leominster was issued a sideline warning, so the next one will be a 5-yard penalty should they get one.
2nd and 10 for the Red Raiders. Graham rolling to his right. He's going to throw right. He's got DeLeon at the 15. Ducks out of a tackle. He's across the 10. He's going to be brought down at the 7. The ball came out at the end of that. Leominster is saying they have it. We have no idea who actually has the ball. The officials are saying it's Blue Devil football. Leominster has recovered the fumble inside their own 10-yard line.
You often see it when you're struggling to get that extra yard at the end of the play. Somebody comes in and pops the ball loose. DeLeon breaks the tackle there. Now,
right there. Eamon Durkin, number 3.
The ball clearly out. Now it turns into a tug of war at the end of the bottom of the pile.
Eamon Durkin was the one who got his helmet on the ball, knocked it loose. A huge break for Leominster. And now they're lining up to run some plays here. Going to hand it off straight up the middle to Cordero. He's going to be brought down. Just have him hang on to the ball. And that should take us to the end of the first half. Mike, this has been a very entertaining, very tight first half of football.
Yeah, good rock'em sock'em first half of football. Both teams making some mistakes, but good physical game, and as we expected for once, low score.
So the score is 0-0 at halftime. Dave Clark, your thoughts on the first half here from Crocker Field?
Well, my prediction is coming to true. So it's going to, by the end of it. But for the most part, first quarter, Leominster, second quarter, I think Fitchburg had the better. So it's a very, very ball game here at beautiful historic committee Crocker Field.
It is a lovely day here at Crocker Field.
Late arriving.
Well, there's still plenty of seats available, mostly in the stands.
Absolutely.
And, folks are lined up not just in the seats, but all around the field here. It's one of my favorite things about Thanksgiving, really. You don't get an atmosphere like this any other day. You've got folks lined up both sides of the field here, lining the barriers all around Crocker Field here. It's just, I love Thanksgiving football here on FATV, Dave.
Yeah, and the history of it, too. And they give you these things, too.
These are beautiful. Hold that up for the camera. It's right there.
Is it? Okay. All right.
There we go. Okay. You're holding it right next to it. There you go. It's a beautiful hat. See, it's got the FATV logo right there. Modeling it here.
Beautiful. Yeah. Hopefully, we won't use it all year. So far, okay.
I can tell you from personal experience, it's nice, it's warm. I'm not sweating. I think there's some moisture wicking going on here. Oh, it's a beautiful hat. I have no complaints.
Thank the Keats that came.
We want to thank
my engineer. I'll tell you already. Go ahead, put him up.
We want to thank, of course, the crew at FATV, not only for the very nice hats, but for the fantastic work that they do all season here, bringing you the football broadcast and really every broadcast here on FATV. Our director today is Nate Glennie. Nate's doing a fantastic job as always. Travis Falk is our audio board operator. He's also our technical supervisor, doing really everything that needs doing. Dave Oster is running our replays today, and our camera operators today are Jared Roberts, Nicole Gaffney, Matt Murdoka, and of course Cassie Elson running camera for us today. And of course Dan Bolek, we heard from him at the start of the broadcast. Dan has been doing a fantastic job running graphics for us as well. Now folks, in case you're just joining us, this is the 125th anniversary of the rivalry, Fitchburg versus Leominster, here on FATV. We're scoreless at halftime. Dave Clark, John Gugerty, myself, and Mike Flynn with you here. The Leominster Band is about ready to perform, but as we said, we're going to have some special halftime features for you in just a few minutes here. In the meantime, Dave, just tell us a little bit more about this rivalry and what it really means. Obviously, you've been on the city council here in Fitchburg. How much does this rivalry mean to Fitchburg, not just on Thanksgiving, but throughout the year?
Sure. It can be any time of the year. It happens in basketball when they have goings on there. We've had that before. And the same thing with, they have volleyball now? Is that a new sport? So there's no matter who they go against, Fitchburg, Leominster, Fitchburg, Gardner, Fitchburg, the whole list, it's Fitchburg, And
But it means
we have that again.
It means a little bit more when it's Fitchburg and Leominster.
Sure, absolutely.
You can't do really anything. If you do something for 125 years, you've got to be doing it because it means something, right?
Part of it too is, a lot of people coming back in town to go to the local establishments and enjoyed some time there. So welcome to all those folks back in our area.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'll toss it all right.
Oh, all right. So we've gotten word that they are ready down on the sideline. So let's send it down there to the sideline. We've got Chad Garner and Jack Callahan. Chad Garner and Jack Callahan standing by. Let's send it down to them for the halftime presentation.
How you doing? Happy Thanksgiving. My name's Chad Garner. I'm the communications coordinator for Fitchburg Public Schools. I'm joined by Athletic Director Craig Antossi, Mayor Dina Talley, our student journalist Jack Callahan, and our superintendent Bob Jokala. Obviously, a lot of players here today, but our biggest player here is Jack Callahan, our student journalist, a program that we just started here at the high school. I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Antossi to talk a little bit more about our journalism program as Jack is spearheading it for us.
Thanks a lot, Chad. Over the summer, Chad and I were talking in my office about ways to kind of raise the profile of our athletic department, and we kind of hashed this idea to get students involved. We have FitchburgAthletics.com. It was an underutilized site last year. It was our first year using it, and we kind of decided what better way to provide information about our athletic department than to have our students do it themselves. And immediately, Jack Callahan's name sprung to mind. I had him as a freshman when I was an engineering teacher, and Jack told me his lifelong dream was to become a sports journalist. So we contacted Jack, got Jack involved, and since then we've really kind of accelerated. It's picked up a lot of ground quickly. So looking forward to involving more students as we go forward to write articles, take pictures, create video content, and really meet the public where they are nowadays. Not so much in the paper and print anymore, but in the social media, in the digital space.
And Jack's just done a fantastic job for us, and what better person to have doing this for us than Jack. And Jack, just talk about the program in itself, how much fun you've had, the stuff that you've learned thus far.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun for sure. It's special to me to be able to cover my school and the sports in our school. It's pretty crazy to think that, it's just the football season. I have so many other sports to cover, so I'm really looking forward to all of it.
Jack's come a long way in the first couple of days that he really started. He's been working really hard for us, takes direction very well. You can tell he has a very big passion for sports. He loves Fitchburg. He loves the student athletes here. And, my goal is hopefully he continues in this journalism field. He gets published. We're really working on that right now to hopefully he gets published in the Sentinel and Enterprise at some point. But he's definitely one of our media stars here at the high school. We hope more people take the initiative to come out, to take photos, to do social media, to interview players, to be a part of our Fitchburg high school community. Jack, you're our media guy here. Here's your opportunity here. Why don't you fire a couple, questions at the mayor and then the superintendent. So the mic is yours.
Go easy on me, Jack.
Of course.
Okay.
Mayor, what are your thoughts on the first half of this game, and how do you think the Red Raiders can win this second half and win the game?
This is what we call a nail biter, obviously. No score right now, and it's been a great game going back and forth, but, it's like two heavyweights, you know what I mean? They're kind of feeling each other out, but I think Fitchburg comes back. If we can establish somewhat of a running game, and we free up for the pass, but it's a little windy today, so we've got some challenges there, but, we've got a good game going right now. Historic Crocker Field.
Of course.
And it's a relatively nice day, so we're having a great day.
What do you think about the atmosphere of this game, crowd?
It's always huge. And, we've got a great crowd here today. And, again, I think the weather cooperating always helps that out. So 125 years, it's pretty significant. So we're thrilled about that, that we're bringing the people of Leominster to the city of Fitchburg.
We also have Superintendent Bob Jokala. Bob, you are part of the class of '84. So what makes this rivalry and this game special to you?
Well, I think for me, it just shows how the two communities come together, and while we're competitors and rivals, we also want to see good sportsmanship, and as we hear behind us, the band's playing. So it's a chance for everybody to get involved for a marquee event for both cities.
Of course. This is a big game, so back to the booth, I guess.
Well, Mayor, I want to ask you here, as you look around here in the seas of red and blue, what are just some old memories that you have of coming to Crocker Field? I know your son played on that historic 2000 Super Bowl team. What are some memories that you have inside the stadium?
You know, the games are a big piece of it, obviously the main reason why we're here. But Thanksgiving brings people from all over the country, and in some cases all over the world, back to Fitchburg and or Leominster, depending on where the game is. But this is a time to rekindle, you know, those kinds of relationships. So I always remember seeing people I haven't seen for a long time, and that's what Thanksgiving football is to me, along with, you know, the hopes that the Red Raiders end up triumphant.
Yeah. So it's FitchburgAthletics.com. That's where you can find all of our Fitchburg High athletics, from football to soccer to field hockey, upcoming now with basketball. I just want to thank everybody for playing a part in all of this here. It's a great day here at historic Crocker Field. Our football team is battling. I just thank you guys, and go Red Raiders.
Outstanding Fitchburg High School marching band. Let's hear for the Fitchburg High School marching band. Double down winner this year. Competition.
Marching band for their performance. We want to thank as well the football underwriters who helped bring this and indeed every broadcast to you here on FATV. Our football underwriters include North End Subaru, Gramanos Market, the Neshoba Valley Medical Center, Red Apple Farm, the Grand Rental Station, IC Credit Union, and of course, Fitchburg State University. Thank you so much to them for all the work that they do. It is, in case you're just joining us, Thanksgiving here at Crocker Field. Thank you so much for joining us here on FATV. And you can see here the halftime statistics for this 0-0 game between Fitchburg and Leominster. It's really been a tight contest for both sides. Fitchburg has a little bit of the advantage in the rushing yards. Most of that difference comes on the one big play by Devin Barasano. The number that stands out to me is right there, second row from the bottom, the penalties, especially on the Leominster sideline. 6 penalties assessed against the Blue Devils for 55 yards. That was all in, I think it was the first quarter. Leominster had those 6 penalties assessed against them. Again, thank you so much to Dan Bolak running the graphics in our truck for putting together the halftime statistics. We also have some halftime highlights that we want to show you, some of the important plays here. Leominster's second drive came to an end on this play here, an interception by D. Jones deep into Fitchburg territory. Leominster had another drive that looked promising, but ultimately fell apart. Fitchburg answered. They had a shot in the end zone. That fourth down pass was incomplete. Leominster has found some success throwing to Arlie Jalot. That pass there, but as you can see right there, flags coming in, negating plays. This touchdown pass, you see another flag comes in that negates that. Ball security and penalties have really been problems for both teams. Fitchburg, you saw there, had a trouble with one snap. This play, Montgomery Graham had all day to throw before finally dancing away and picking up a few yards. Does it again here. Montgomery Graham has really stepped up and been a key part of the Fitchburg offense in the absence of Anthony Oquendo. And then this play right here, right at the end of the half, the fumble by Donovan DeLeon, which turned the ball over to Leominster. We bring in Dave Clark now, and Dave, that fumble has been a key play in this game because Fitchburg was deep inside Leominster territory, and then they turned it over.
And you're right. There's been a few of them, but not many. But there's been a couple of interesting calls. Going over to the Leominster side of things, there's a lot of people talking about they're not liking the referee right now.
Oh, of course they're not. Well, Leominster's been penalized 6 times.
That's what they're saying. We're back underway here.
It's a short kickoff returned by the Raiders. That's Gabriel Torres on the return. He's brought down at about the 35-yard line.
Number 13 on the return. That was Devin Garzano.
I think we'll say in the last few games that we've had here, close games, and with these guys, not like a light. Well, get me out of here.
Mike, save this bit.
Play me off the stage, will you? No, it's been, we expected a close defensive battle, and that's what we got. Yep. And, the penalties cost Leominster. That late turnover by Fitchburg looked like they would have punched winning right before the half.
Fitchburg goes from the pistol on first down. Graham pumps to his left, wants to throw over the middle, and he is going to be sacked. Brought down by a couple of different Blue Devils. Let's give credit to Eamon Durkin for the initial hit. Durkin was the man who knocked the ball loose on that fumble at the end of the first half. The one by De Leon, it was Eamon Durkin who forced that fumble. This time it's Durkin coming from the right side. Durkin's there along with Micah Stinson. This Micah Stinson is a huge factor in the Leominster defensive line.
Yeah, he has been. At that time, Leominster got some pressure on Montgomery that they did not get at the end of that first half, where they allowed him to stand back there, survey the situation. He pulled it down and ran it a couple of times. Also a couple of big completions.
Second down, 13 now for the Raiders. The sun is coming out for the first time today. Devin Barasano, the carry, bounces out of the initial hit. He's going to be dragged backward. I believe that was Liam Curtin making the initial hit for the Blue Devils. Some pushing and shoving after the fact.
Watch out here.
The Blue Devil down on the turf. Looked to my eye like Nico Martinez started it, and he's on the Leominster side.
Leominster was pointing like they recovered a fumble. I didn't see the officials never indicated the ball was on the ground.
No, they're saying it's third down.
So it's 3rd and 11.
There was a lot of activity after the whistle that I expected some laundry to come flying out, but we saw none.
There has been a fair bit of that. Take a look at this one here. The Barasano's going to be dragged back by Curtin there. And everybody falls on top of everybody, and nobody's happy with each other.
And then the fun begins.
Flag. And now there's whistles and flags.
Substitution violation on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
I'm sorry, what violation?
I believe that was a substitution violation.
I see. It's difficult to hear the official. Tom DiGeronimo was there saying, I couldn't hear him. I didn't know what he said. The wind is, it seems the wind picks up right as Billy Goslin hits his microphone every time.
He needs to turn his body away from the wind.
3rd down.
So after the penalty, it'll now be 3rd and 16. Graham under pressure, rolls to his left. He throws. De Leon has the catch. He's going to be brought down at the 42-yard line. He needed the 44, however. So Fitchburg will be faced with a decision, and their decision is to punt.
The Raiders have been able to throw the ball, and they've given Montgomery time.
Yeah.
Comes on to do the punting choice for the
Graham
Raiders.
having one of his better days
Wow,
throwing the ball.
there's a flag that came out way late.
Dead ball and sportsmanlike conduct. Number 52 of the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
The near sideline explodes. Micah Stinson called for unsportsmanlike conduct well after the play. Fitchburg was all set to kick it away, but instead they'll be given a first down in Blue Devil territory.
Obviously, that was a verbal violation since nobody was near each other.
Devin Gates is furious. Can't tell you exactly what Micah Stinson said. We would like to stay on TV today.
We're cable, aren't we?
We're cable.
We are
We're
cable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it.
Comedy Central begins.
First down, Graham will keep it himself. He gets forward to just shy of the 40-yard line.
51 first to make the tackle.
I can think of 7 words Mike Stinson could have said.
We can always use the words they use on network TV. We're sorry for the language that people are offended, because you've never heard that word before.
Oh, I'm sure you've heard games where it's worse at Elliott Field, because at Elliott Field you've got the coach's box right next to you, and they don't care that there's a hot mic 3 feet away from them.
Yeah, I don't think there's a real need for a box down there.
It'll be second down and a long 7, call it 8 for the Raiders.
The Red Raiders can cash in a huge break.
Barasano and Robichaux in the backfield. Barasano is the carrier. Bounces out of 1 tackle. Gets across the 40 before being shoved backwards.
Oh, the whistle for that.
Several Blue Devils in on the stop.
Pedro. Oh, mackerel. Hey, it has sun out. Look at that.
Turned into a very pretty day outside. Windy, but not terribly cold. It'll be third down and 6 for Fitchburg. Gotta think they're getting to 4-down territory here, guys.
I think they're in it.
Yeah. They're at the 39 now. If they gain anything here, I would think they'd go for it on 4.
Yeah, unless they go backwards here on third down. I think they're in 4-down territory.
2 receivers and a tight end for the Raiders. 2 men in the backfield to either side of Montgomery Graham. Leominster showing blitz, and here they come. And down goes Montgomery Graham. Just like that, Kyle Philbin
Hurt on that play.
comes up a little gimpy. Philbin came from that right outside linebacker spot. He was almost entirely unblocked. Moved Graham back 3 yards. And you said, Mike, if the Raiders don't lose yards, they're going to go for it. Well, they did lose yards, and it looks like they're punting.
Yeah, you can see the linebackers walking up to the line of scrimmage coming on the blitz. And they were on top of Montgomery right away. And Fitchburg will try to play field position here.
I believe this is the first time we've seen the Fitchburg punt unit today. Justin Kamasana will kick it away. This is, in fact, the second one. I'm completely wrong. Kamasana's kick bounces at the 20 and is going to be picked up at the 5-yard line. Tackled there is J.V. Rodriguez.
Number 22.
Must be contagious.
Wow. Along with Gio Maloney, number 18.
J.V. Rodriguez not with a varsity level play there.
That ball had an opportunity maybe to bounce into the end zone for a touchback.
4 yards to go for the Blue Devils.
Rodriguez tried to scoop it up on the bounce and make something happen with it. Instead, he's tackled at his own 5-yard line. The Blue Devils are backed up. The people in red here want their defense to get a safety.
And a flag by the back judge. Play of game or a substitution violation.
Substitution violation on the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So Fitchburg having trouble with substitutions on both sides of the ball. They will hand the Blue Devils 5 free yards for no particular reason.
Well, 12 guys on the field will do that.
Yeah. I'm not saying the call was bad. I'm saying the penalty was bad.
First and 5.
We'll make it 1st and 5 for the Blue Devils. Caden Constant, the sophomore quarterback, keeps it himself. He's got plenty of blockers and open space in front of him. Ducks out of a couple tackles. He's brought down at the 30, and a flag comes in.
Constant on a nice carry.
Blocking the back. It's on Constant. No, not on Constant, excuse me. It's on the wide receiver.
We have a flag.
Was thrown by the back judge.
It's on number 1.
Harley Jalot, he was called for a hold earlier that negated a first down. Now a block in the back.
Move that ball right back down.
We have the replay. You'll see it. Number 1. Number 1 is the offender. He's gonna be the. He was the split end at the top of the screen. You're gonna watch him come in if we catch it.
Right there, top of the screen. That's a very clear block in the back. You can't do that, Arlie. So it winds up in a weirdly 1st and 4 situation for Leominster. They hand it off to number 4. Vashawn Dixon is spun around in the backfield.
Spun and brought down by number 56.
Jamarco Santiago with the tackle.
We're starting to get to the point here that first team in school may win.
Yes, both defenses standing tall.
A lot like the last that we've seen in this game, or games, series of games.
Leominster has not had much success running the ball with anyone, but Vashawn Dixon has especially struggled. 3 carries, -7 yards. He'll get some of that back here. He's back out across the 10-yard line, call him down at the 11. D. Jones with the tackle. All of the back and forth for Leominster in terms of field position and penalties. They'll be set up with 3rd and a long 4.
Ball is at the 11. Under 5 minutes in the third
Neither
quarter.
team, neither team has had much success through the air. Neither team has gone there that often. Constant has hit a couple of balls, but he's also been picked off. Montgomery Graham having his best accuracy day, but he's only thrown 6 passes. Now Constant, play fake to no one, rolls to his right. Pass is low, and it is incomplete. Was trying to hit Arlie Gillot. Pass was very low. You can actually see, Mike, Gillot is indicating, I'm tall, I want the ball high.
Yeah, it's easier for me to go up than it is to go down.
I'm going to write that down.
Thank you. Constant on the half roll, tries to throw it on the move.
I'm surprised that they haven't gone to that matchup that often. Arlie Gillot is by 3 or 4 inches the tallest guy on the field. Now Leominster will kick it away. They're actually set up in their own end zone. Remember, the last punt was awful. This one's not much better. It's finally going to be picked up on a bounce at the Blue Devil 35-yard line and down to there.
That was almost a whiff.
He had a couple of those tonight.
He barely kicked the ball on that.
Well, remember back Leominster's very first possession of the game, it was a punt just like this.
That's when he drops the ball. He kicks the end of the ball.
Yeah. It's a Goober Landon kick from many years ago.
Squib.
Instead of
the unintentional
kicking somewhere, he kicked it in the wrong kind of place. But
so now Fitchburg is blessed with their first excellent field possession of the game. 1st and 10 at the Blue Devil 36-yard line. Penalties and their great defense combining to shorten the field for the Fitchburg offense. Still scoreless now, more than halfway through the 3rd quarter. Leominster again showing blitz. Graham keeps it himself. Takes his time, tries to find a hole. He's going to be brought down after a gain of 3. Jack Philbin, the initial hit for the Blue Devils. It's a gain of 4 for Montgomery Graham.
It is 2nd and 7.
Hesitating, reading the blocking, trying to find a hole to cut up into.
2nd and 6 now.
Nice 4-yard gain on 1st down.
Doesn't look like much, but it's better than nothing. Now, Mike, you mentioned Justin Kamasana hit the crossbar from 50 yards out in warmups. Right now, it would be a 50-yard field goal.
Yep.
And they are with the wind for the next 3.5 minutes. Play action fake. Graham rolls to his left, and he is under pressure. Spins out of a hit, tosses the ball away. I think they're going to rule that an incomplete pass. Giovanni Moroni was in the area. That is a great job by Montgomery Graham to avoid the sack and get rid of the ball.
So it brings up 3rd down and 6.
He went play action, and as soon as he looked up, he had a Leominster defender right in his face.
Kyle Philbin,
who couldn't make the tackle, kind of knocked him off balance, and he was able just to throw the ball out in the general vicinity of a red shirt to save the sack.
Saved a good 5, 6, 7 yards. Now 3rd down and 6. You can see on your screen Fitchburg 1 out of 7 on 3rd downs today. Graham under pressure, wants to throw long to the right, wide open is there. He got his hands on it, but he couldn't bring it in. Incomplete. Donovan DeLeon got both hands on the ball. He is not happy. Fitchburg's actually being held back by his own teammate. Darnell Thomas having to hold DeLeon back. Looked like he was jawing at a Leominster player.
Well, the only person he shouldn't be happy with is himself. Ball was well thrown, right on the hands. Wow, you got to catch it.
You're right, Mike. That ball hit him in his hands. You could see DeLeon not happy. He's still demonstratively not happy with himself. Fitchburg keeping the offense on the field. They will go for it on 4th down. I'm sure they knew that before they made the call. That's why they decided to take the shot deep on 3rd. Let's see what the Raiders have up their sleeves. 4th down and 6. They need to get to the 26-yard line. Leominster again comes on the blitz, and again they bring down Montgomery Graham.
Graham is sacked on the play.
When Leominster has needed it, they dial up the pressure, and Fitchburg can't keep them back.
And that's the kind of play if Graham's looking up in the right spot. He's going to see the linebackers walking to the line of scrimmage. They were all-out blitz.
Almost immediately after he took the snap, Montgomery Graham didn't even have a chance to look downfield.
3:11 in the 3rd quarter.
Leominster's defense forces the stop. And now they'll have it at their own 37-yard line. And Dave, you said it, it's looking more and more like one score could win this game. Justice Reynolds on 1st down is not going to go in the right direction. He's brought down after a loss of 2.
3 minutes on the
To the
clock.
odds of number 11, Jesus Padilla.
They've been on LTV across the lay. They've been replaying that 78 game
2nd and 12.
a lot.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a famous 0-0 overtime game that Leominster won on a field goal in overtime. And the controversial ending, Fitchburg stopped at the half-inch line on 4th down in overtime.
This time Leominster does go with the jet sweep on 2nd down. Jumping out of tackles, finally brought down. J.V. Rodriguez picks up about 5.
J.V. Rodriguez.
They're going to spot him down at the 40.
Down by 44. Enzo Maroney.
Dave, we were talking about it. They faked this jet sweep a couple of times. This time they go with it. Picks up a few yards. Now 3rd down, 7 for Leominster. Just about 2 minutes to play here in quarter number 3. Constant wants a receiver to come in motion. He's imploring the man. Finally, Rodriguez goes. Under pressure is Constant, trying to get away, running backwards, and he is finally brought down. Giovanni Maroney with the tackle.
I don't see any flags, so let's take a little look.
There are no flags on the field.
To punt again here. The ball goes all the way back now to the 33-yard line. 4th down.
Mike, Fitchburg is going to come from the left side here with 4 different guys who had a shot at Constant.
Constant got flushed out here to the near sideline, and they just walled him in. And it'll bring out the punting team, which hasn't been very successful so far for the Blue Devils.
It has been an adventure to say the least. This is probably easily the best punt of the day. Fair catch called for, muffed, and then fallen on by D. Jones at the 43-yard line.
What is it so tempting to have the ball just let it fall and then pounce on it?
For the Red Raiders to take over here. So it's 1st and 10.
So the battle for field position is slowly turning in Leominster's favor, but Fitchburg still has it pretty good. They'll have it at their own 43 after this near disaster.
The Blue Devils will have the wind in the 4th quarter.
That wind is picking up. The flag on the far left corner pretty much straight out. Fitchburg has it for the next minute and 5. Devin Barasano on 1st down is brought down. Leominster is bringing those outside linebackers on the blitz every time now.
Draws and screens are the way to beat the blitz. I don't think we've seen Fitchburg throw a screen pass all year.
40-yard line.
No, they haven't. You'd think it would work.
The wind's blowing so hard now, it blew the ball off the spot.
Well, they're also missing their best player.
Well, yeah, actually their They haven't had Adorando all year. He was their starting tailback. He got hurt.
And the game that he played, they won.
Yep.
They were losing.
He got hurt his
Do you
first.
think those guys are regretting their decision right about now as the wind picks up?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I'm regretting it on their behalf.
Sideline interference on Leominster.
I try to shut that down.
Sideline interference, I believe, maybe?
Penalty against
so that's
Leominster.
their second sideline penalty, so this one will be enforced.
This time on the sideline.
It's a 5-yard penalty. Give the
5-yard
Raiders
penalty.
5 free yards. Make it 2nd and 8 instead of 2nd and 13.
Never like take the penalty. Like, okay, what are you interfering with? The ball was dead.
Hard count, trying to draw the Devils off. I think he faked out his own center.
First start. 64 left.
Come in, Houston. Houston, we have a problem.
That was a false start.
Usually, sometimes when we give the referee a microphone, he'll use it for a quarter and decide, to heck with this, I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. I appreciate that Mr. Goslin is doing his best, but at the same time,
I think we should send Travis down there right now and just take it off of him now. That's the end of the quarter.
all right, as the wind continues to blow, we have reached the end of the third quarter. We are 3/4 of the way through the 138th meeting between Fitchburg and Leominster, and we are scoreless. One more time, we of course want to thank our football underwriters. They are IC Credit Union, Romano's Market, the Neshoba Valley Medical Center, Fitchburg State University, the Grand Rental Station, North End Subaru, and the Red Apple Farm. Now, Dave, that is a steeple.
That is a yeah. Beautiful. I went by last night. At what time? 9 o'clock, 9:30. They had the lights on.
I'm sure they wanted to keep any hooligans out that might take place before.
It just looks nice. They have it's all lit up in the upper common. It looks beautiful.
Folks have piled in from all over Fitchburg and Leominster. They're up on the hill. They're surrounding the field. They're filling the stands. Well, they're partially filling the stands. Let's not lie to people. We are just about ready for the 4th quarter of action on this, the 125th anniversary of the rivalry. We are scoreless here at Crocker Field. 2nd down and 13 for the Raiders. Montgomery ran under a ton of pressure. Mike, I think you're right. He was grabbed by the face mask.
Wait for the ball.
Face mask defense. 15 yards.
So that'll give the Raiders 15 yards and a first
It's
down.
going to be 15 yards and a first down here.
Fitchburg gets another break. Dave, you were saying that Leominster was not too happy with the officiating. I imagine this will not make them any happier.
Oh, this one was clear. So
Yeah, this one's clear.
there it is.
Yeah.
That's a big yank.
You can't do that. I think there might have been another one at the end.
Ball will be spotted at the 45-yard
But,
line.
you grab the face mask, you give it a tug. That's against the rules. You can't do that.
If you get caught.
We're asking you to. Everything is okay in the booth here, and they got a time on something. Something's got to wait here.
The officials are conferring right at the ball. I think they're making sure they have the spotted correctly. They're content. It'll be 1st and 10 Raiders at the Leominster 45. The clock has been running this whole time. That may be part of the issue. Graham will keep it on 1st down. Spins out to the right side. Tiptoes up the far sideline, and I believe he has himself a first down.
After making the first down.
There's a group for you.
And one of the few times Leominster's lost contain and allowed Montgomery Graham to get to the outside, turn the corner. The sun comes out full.
Graham does a good job there.
Beats the tackle at the corner. gets out of bounds.
12-yard run for Montgomery Graham. 1st and 10 Raiders at the Blue Devil 33.
1st and 10.
Graham will keep it again. Try to find a hole, gets a few yards.
And another flag.
And another flag.
At one time, I was quoted in this game saying that, well, the officiating was wonderful. And
Holding, 54 offense, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
You also said it was a quick moving game, Dave.
The Red Raiders.
Yeah.
It still is, actually. It's only 11:30.
Okay, that's true.
Thank you for sticking up.
And a long halftime, so we're actually flying.
Actually, yes.
And you knew a flag eventually had to come against Fitchburg. Leominster had a bunch of them in a row, and as you can see, the hold
right at the top of the screen. They're pretty obvious.
Oh, Pat comes up.
So that 10-yard penalty from the spot will make it first and 22. Fitchburg's at their 45 of the Blue Devils. They need to get all the way to the 23. Graham has spent most of the day in the shotgun. Now he rolls left. He wants to throw long. Jump ball is incomplete. Intended for Latrell Bodie. Coverage by Justice Reynolds.
He threw that just late.
The Blue Devil player down at midfield.
Not much on that side of the field.
It's going to be 2nd down. Still 22 to go.
Flush Graham out to the Fitchburg sideline and just heaves it downfield. Bodie just trying to box out the defensive player and try to keep in bounds, but the wind pushed that ball out of bounds.
It's a tough ask, throwing deep into the wind. There's a Blue Devil down pretty much at midfield, right at the corner of the F. We're getting word that's Kyle Philbin for the Blue Devils. He is a junior.
One of their mainstays on defense today.
And Kyle and Jack Philbin have been all over the place for the Blue Devils. Fortunately, Kyle Philbin being attended to here. While we have a second, folks, we again want to thank our incredible crew here at FATV. They've done a fantastic job all season, and it really is an all-star team working for us today. Our director today is Nate Glennie. Travis Falk is running the audio board. Dan Bullock is running graphics today. We also had word from him during the pregame show. We thank Dan for that. Dave Oster is running our replays today. Our camera operators up there on the roof. You see Jared Roberts on the left and Nicole Gaffney on the right. And that shot is coming from Matt Murdoka down on the left side end zone camera. And all the way at the other side of the field is Cassie Elson. Matt, Cassie, Jared, and Nicole really do fantastic work along with the entire FATV crew. There's Matt. Hi, Matt.
Yeah, they're the heroes. They have to brave the elements out in the wind.
Yeah, they're the ones with the coats. I got to say, I love the trench coat by Cassie. I'm a big fan of that trench coat. And, of course, there's us. We're also here. It's nice. It's warm.
There's no wind in here.
No, there's no wind. We have the fancy FATV hats. Dave Clark, myself, John Gugerty, and Mike Flynn bringing you this 138th meeting between Fitchburg and Leominster on the 125th anniversary of the rivalry. I mean, 1894.
What the problem was there, but they're finally back on the field here.
All right, we are back to live action here. 2nd down and 22. Graham throwing long over the middle. That pass is incomplete. It was very nearly intercepted. J.C. Cora was the closest man to it.
We got something going on in midfield.
Coverage provided by.
Fortunately, I think the referee came by and kind of pushed him out of the way. Otherwise, we'd have a penalty here, but that's not. I don't know if you can see it.
It's a tough throw against the wind. It's deep down on a crossing pattern across the middle.
Nope, not going to show.
J.C. Cora and Liam Curtin providing the defense for Leominster. And to your point, Dave, this has been a the word for it is chippy.
Very chippy.
There's been pushing and shoving and unsportsmanlike penalties and some unkind language being used.
I hate that unkind language.
Generally ungentlemanly behavior by the two clubs.
Don't you kind of like to see that, though, in the rivalry game?
Well, you don't like to see 17 combined penalties for 162 combined penalty yards.
Fitchburg took a timeout, I believe.
Timeout, Fitchburg.
They were play clock.
They decide to take the timeout instead of sacrifice another 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 22, so you have to think Fitchburg is probably going to wind up kicking. And with the wind being what it is, you worry about, punt the ball up and it just goes backwards.
We've mentioned the crowd a couple of times today. It's filled out rather neat.
Very good crowd.
Not bad.
Yeah, I've mentioned it once already. I'll say it again. This atmosphere at Thanksgiving with people lining the field, standing up on the hill behind the flag, up on the hill to the left near Water Street. It's fantastic.
There's something about that makes that kind of turf cool.
Third.
Dials up here. They got trips to the bottom of the screen.
3 receivers at the bottom, 1 tight end, 1 running back. The home crowd rises to a roar as Fitchburg faces 3rd and 22.
Oh boy, he's going to get rid of it.
And he will not get rid of it. He is brought down by Kyle Philbin. Philbin was left the field with an injury 2 plays ago. He returns with a vengeance. 3 sacks in the half for Kyle Philbin.
He's back out.
As long as he was down the way he limped off, I thought he was done for the game. But
Graham tried to limbo away from the hit. But it is now 4th and 31. Fitchburg will have to kick it away into that very stiff breeze. Kamasana's kick is away, spiraling, bouncing. Going to take a bit of a Raider roll and be picked up at the 25-yard line.
It's a good kick against that howling wind.
It really is.
Yes.
25-yard line. Thank you. And it's 1st and 10.
9 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Leominster doesn't need to hurry, although given the success they've had, it's not like it's not worth trying. Blue Devil offense hasn't looked completely inept. They have moved the ball a little bit. They've picked up some first downs. You can see there, 95 total yards for them against 142 for the Raiders. Leominster's sophomore quarterback, Caden Constant, will take the shotgun snap. He hands off to Bryant Cordero, running to the left. And Cordero is brought down after a gain of about 4.
Maroney along with Bodie on the tackle.
And no one sniffed the points here in the second half. First half, Leominster scored, brought back on a penalty. Fitchburg fumbled inside the 5 right before the end of the first half.
Now, most of the action has been between the 30s. It was deep in Leominster's end once, but Leominster had the ball. Constant keeps it himself on 2nd down. He's close to the line to gain. A flag comes in late. It's been almost 3 whole plays since we saw a flag, so we were overdue. We'll just see what this is all about.
Well, since Fitchburg's already backing up.
Not a good sign.
Not a good sign. Well, all the officials are pointed the other way. I don't know. It's going to be against the Red Raiders, however.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 10 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down. That is his first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game.
Angel Alejandro called for the unsportsmanlike conduct. It's 15 free yards for the Blue Devils. It'll put them in Raider territory. 1st and 10, Leominster at the Fitchburg 49. We'll see if we can spot it here. Alejandro is number 10.
It's a little weak, isn't it?
Back to live action here. Bryant Cordero, the carry. I didn't see much there that was
not in the 4th quarter of a nothing game on a Thanksgiving day that's a 15-yard penalty.
You would think not.
2nd and 8. Ball at the 47.
This is the last play, the handoff to Cordero. Just gets a couple. And we go back live.
Oh, snap.
Play action. Constant will keep it himself. He's got a big hole over the middle. He is shoved forward and down at about the 27-yard line.
That was a hard 2-hand touch tackle, wasn't it?
That was.
Jesus Padilla.
It's the kind of thing that gets you ejected from the touch football league.
Inside the 30.
Constant finds a nice hole. That was more of a forearm shiver than a touch.
Something coming back.
Cordero keeps it himself on first down. Big run for him across the 15 to the 10. 5. Brian Cordero is in. Touchdown, Leominster.
Cordero rolling into the end zone.
Bryant Cordero with a 23-yard, I believe, touchdown run. 28 yards, excuse me. Biggest play of the day for the Blue Devils. Puts points on the board for the first time. Mike, that is a backbreaker for Fitchburg.
Wow, the last two plays, Fitchburg just got blown off the line of scrimmage. The long run by Constant, and then Cordero there with a good run down the far sideline.
For the Blue Devils, with the score 6-0.
And all of a sudden, we have points on the board.
Left in the game.
Santiago Rodriguez on to attempt the extra point. He'll be kicking out of a hold from Eamon Durkin. Good snap, good hold, kick is up, and it's good. So with 7:27 to play here in the fourth quarter, Leominster leads 7-0. Let's take another look at that touchdown drive for the Blue Devils. So the two big plays came during this drive. First of all, the run by Caden Constant. Really, guys, it was just Constant and Cordero all day long. This run by Constant was the big one.
And the penalty.
And the penalty, of course.
This one, here's the touchdown. Just finds an opening down the far sideline and just bowls over the last Fitchburg would-be tackler at the goal line.
The 5-play, 74-yard drive. Some penalties gave Leominster an edge, but the last two plays were all Blue Devils. Makes you wonder where that's been from them all day. But now Fitchburg has to answer. Seven and a half minutes to play. Leominster leads 7-0. Raiders still obviously plenty of time. They do have 2 timeouts. They had to burn one on their last drive. Santiago Rodriguez will kick it away. High end-over-end kick. That's going to roll through the end zone for a touchback. Rodriguez taking full advantage of the wind there.
What do you think about that wind now?
It's a very strong wind.
Really took off. Absolutely.
And unfortunately for Fitchburg, they have to drive right into the teeth of it.
So on the touchback, the Red Raiders will.
They need 80 yards to tie this game up.
7:27 left in the game. All spotted.
7.5 minutes, you're at most going to get the ball back one more time.
And Fitchburg is stopped here. Leominster's offense will have a chance to run out the rest of the clock. Blue Devils showing blitz again. Play fake. Graham throws for DeLeon over the middle. It's caught. Gains about 6 yards and is brought down. It's a good play call against this aggressive Leominster defense, Mike.
Yep, if you're going to throw behind that blitz and make them stop. If you're going to vacate that little short thing over the middle where the linebackers usually are, they vacate the blitz, you throw behind it, pick up 6 or 7 yards.
Referee went over to say something. He's back on the field now, so he's okay.
2nd down and 4 for the Raiders. Graham looks right and throws right. It's a low pass, but coming back for it is Brian Rivera. He makes the catch. It'll be 3rd and a yard.
Brings up 3rd down and 1.
Haven't seen Montgomery Graham throw too many times today.
Under 6.5.
He's been good enough on the last 2. 2 completions in a row, a gain of 9 yards. Now it's 3rd and 1.
Well, the Blue Devils playing man-to-man with all the blitzing they're doing.
men in the backfield. Barisano and Robichaux. Graham will keep it himself. It's across the 35, brought down at the 37. Stop the clock, move the chains. 6:03 to remaining in this one, and it's another Fitchburg first down.
There's Naaman Durkin and Philbin. Both in on the tackle, but not before the Red Raiders are first and 10 now at the 37.
Fitchburg's had a lot of success, guys, using Sam Robichaux in the backfield there. He hasn't had a single carry all day, but he's just serving as a blocker. See him there lined up to the right of Graham. Graham will throw on first. Looking left, signaling for DeLeon to go long, but he is going to be brought down before he can get rid of it.
And it's Philbin once again.
Guess who? Kyle Philbin. 4 sacks in the second half.
It's going to move the ball to
Dave, you said it. You thought Kyle Philbin was done for the day.
4-yard line.
Sure looked it. Took a snap and then maybe another one. That was it.
13.
These high school kids are they're tough.
They bounce back faster.
They're tough. You're not playing the team on Pacific Street.
Second down and 14 now for the Raiders. Graham pumps right, wants to throw long to the right, not there. Pumps again, he'll keep it himself. He's across the 40 and he jumps out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. He is close to the line to gain. Looks like he's about half a yard shy of it.
Wow.
They will give him the first down.
Must have gave him a tremendous spot.
So Montgomery Graham makes something out of nothing.
Ball at the 48-yard line.
Leominster pass rush has been very intense.
The 40, close to the 50.
Gets it to, they mark it at the 48, just enough for the first down.
So the sticks are showing first and 10, and the down marker is showing 3. So that's a problem. Play action fake, that pass is incomplete. It was off the hands of Liam Curtin, intended for Donovan DeLeon.
Going to bring up, should be second down over there on the other side.
Tried that play action fake and the quick slant again, Mike. This time the pass was a little bit off target.
So it's second and 10.
Just gassed it right in front of DeLeon. Now we have the down marker correct.
That shows a big old number 2. It is second and 10. 4:18 to play. Fitchburg trails by a touchdown. Barisano the carry up the middle. Just running backward, trying to get what he can. What he can amounts to 9 feet, 3 yards.
44-54, both in on the tackle that
It'll be
time.
3rd and 7.
Nico Martinez and Anthony Tossi. He's up 3rd down.
I'm going to think that at under 4 minutes, this is 4-down territory because
I was just going to ask you
if
that.
you kick it away, there's no guarantee you're going to get the ball back. Especially you've already had to burn 1 timeout.
Considering that you would be kicking into the wind as well. Fitchburg still not really hurrying. They don't necessarily have to. Graham under pressure from behind. He dances forward, gets across the 45. He'll be brought down at the 44-yard line. He needs 2 more. Fitchburg will have 1 shot at it.
John Victor Silva.
What do they do at the play at the end of this shot? Let me show you. Still looking. No, I don't see it. Forget about that 30 seconds.
Okay.
But the next 30 seconds are crucial. 4th and 2. Fitchburg needs the Leominster 42 to maintain possession. Under 3 minutes remain. Graham pumps right. He's got open space. No, he is tackled. Brought down in the backfield. That is the 5th sack of the second half for the Leominster defense. Kyle Philbin. Incredible.
I think they're going to try to hit the quick out to the far sideline. It wasn't there. And then Montgomery decided, I got to try to get forward, but it's 51 again.
Kyle Philbin with 5 sacks, all in the second half. The fifth may be the biggest of them all. It gives the Blue Devils the ball back with 2 minutes, 52 seconds to play. The officials are not happy with the down marker again. It was still showing 4. Now they set it to 1. So this is the situation. 2 minutes, 52 seconds left to play. Fitchburg has 2 timeouts. Leominster gets a couple of first downs. This one is over. Caden Constant will keep it himself on first down, ducks out of a couple tackles. He's got a first down and more into Raider territory and brought down at the 39-yard line. They'll stop the clock just to move the chains, and then it will continue to roll.
It's first and 10 Blue Devils.
Not the way you want to start for the Fitchburg defense.
Mike, the play for Fitchburg for most of the season has been to grind the clock and grind your opponents and then capitalize on them in the third and fourth quarters when they're tired. And looking at it on paper, you would think that would be the case again because Fitchburg has the much bigger roster, but Leominster has been doing that. Justice Reynolds the carry on first down.
Reynolds
gets back to the line of scrimmage, no further than that. And Fitchburg will take their second timeout.
First charge timeout of the second half.
The wind continues to howl.
Wow.
It is not terribly pleasant to be outside of this nice press box.
Raiders taking a timeout. 20 left in the
The only
game.
good thing, the air temperature is around 40, so it's not.
That's about it.
It's still very, 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 very windy.
Take a few moments to thank all of the Red Raiders.
Last year the air
sponsors.
temperature was about 0, and it was very, 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 very windy.
It is not very windy in here. You know, we have windows, it's warm, there's a heater. I think we're fine.
Let's check official temperature.
All right, we're going to get an official temperature check. In the meantime, Dave, I mean, this is it. If Fitchburg doesn't get a stop here, this game is over, right?
The air temperature is 44, so that's
you gotta do
actually
something.
it's fallen to 40.
How's your cipher? Do we know how many downs will we get in this particular thing?
Fitchburg can stop the clock only once more. Leominster gets another first down. That's pretty much all she wrote. Justice Reynolds gets it straight up the middle. No defense there until he's well across the first down line.
Driving forward.
He'll be brought down at the 21.
First down.
They will move the
Blue
chains.
Devils.
And that will pretty much do it.
Roney in on the tackle.
Leominster's offense, guys, these last 2 possessions, they did just enough. Fitchburg can stop it once more, but I think that's just about it. Blue Devils will run out the last of this clock and take home a well-deserved Thanksgiving victory. Cordero on first down.
Leominster actually did Fitchburg a little bit of a favor. They snapped that ball about 20 seconds before they had to.
And the Raiders take their last timeout.
Final timeout, Fitchburg.
Both Roney's in on that last tackle.
So let's do some quick math here, guys.
And it's
Two
timeout, Red
knees
Raiders.
would bring it to 20,
1:40 left
Yeah.
in the game.
and that'd be 4th down.
And that's before you account for
The action, so
time that's burned off during the play.
at best, Fitchburg could get the ball back with less than 10 seconds.
So the Blue Devils can pretty much run this one out unless the Raider defense has a strip in them.
If I'm Leominster, I'm taking the knees and okay, you got one play to beat me.
Right. The folks in red pretty dejected. Not too many of them heading for the exits, though. Still hoping for a miracle, but it would take that. Minute 40 left to play here. Second down. Leominster has to snap it 3 more times. They're not going to kneel.
Victory, yeah, they've got trips at the bottom.
They're going to go shotgun. They have most of the day.
Constant.
Constant keeps it himself. He's got a yard or two.
By number 10.
And now Fitchburg's greatest hope is a very tight timing on the play clock.
A little help from Padilla.
Every extra second gives Leominster that much more of a grip on this game.
3rd down and 7. Ball spotted at the 18-yard line.
Blue Devils are not taking all of the time that they have available to them. They're bringing it up to the line here. They'll snap it with about a minute to play. Justice Reynolds the carry, and he's brought down at about the 15. So the 4th down snap will come no later than, what, 17
They could take it to
seconds?
17 or 16 if they want to take it all the way down.
Fitchburg's going to get the ball back, and I mean, honestly, well, I don't know what their field goal situation is like. Saw it in warm-ups, and it wasn't terribly promising. Would be about a 33-yard kick from here.
Leominster's going to take the play clock down to 1 second and then take a timeout. Couldn't reach my coughlin.
That's all right. I needed mine too. So the Blue Devils timeout comes with 16 seconds left, and there is one play, one chance for the Raiders. If the Blue Devil offense comes back out onto the field, they will need to be stopped, and then Fitchburg will get the ball deep, deep, deep in their own territory with barely any time. Time enough for one wacky play.
Well, I don't think they're going to kneel on it since they haven't done it yet.
It's
probably going to take the
down.
ball, run it straight up the middle.
Yeah.
If you get the 1st down, that's gravy. If not, as you said, Fitchburg gets one try for a miracle.
It's been a fantastic showing by both defenses, really, particularly Leominster's here in the second half. Again, the 5 sacks by Kyle Philbin.
There's no doubt who the MVP is going to be.
Coach?
Leominster will come out once again in their 3-blocker formation. Constant will take the snap, and he draws the Raiders off with a hard count. Is that the way the season ends?
Defense, 5-yard penalty. Result, 1st down.
That is the way.
1st down, Red Raiders.
That has been a problem for Fitchburg all season long, and the last desperate hope of a Thanksgiving comeback is thwarted with a 5-yard encroachment penalty. We want to thank everybody at home for watching here on FATV. We thank you so much for being with us, not only today, but throughout the entire season. And Mike, one more time, why don't we thank our football underwriters? They include IC Credit Union, North End Subaru, Romano's Market, Grand Rental Station, the Neshoba Valley Medical Center, Red Apple Farm, and of course Fitchburg State University. We'd also be remiss if we did not thank our annual underwriters who, in addition to providing support for football telecasts, they help make everything you see here on FATV possible. We've picked up a few of them during the course of the season. We thank them all so much as well. Rollstone Bank, Workers Credit Union, Unitil, Health Alliance Hospital, March, Research Results Inc., that's a brand new one, Fitchburg State University, Minuteman Press, the Sentinel and Enterprise, Hub International, and again, North End Subaru. Thank you so much to them as well.
You look at the final numbers, they're almost even across the board. Total yards around 200 each. 3rd down conversions, they were both terrible. Penalties, and that didn't count.
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count the mayhem at the end of the game.
No, I think you can add an extra 5 and 65 or whatever it is to the Fitchburg side after that.
But Leominster converted the 1 touchdown. Fitchburg's going to, they had a couple opportunities. They fumbled inside the 5, dropped the pass inside the 5. But they struggled to score, and as we said, one score may do it, and it did.
That was the case indeed. Leominster emerges with the 7-0 victory. Dave Clark, your final thoughts on today's game?
Well, we thought it was going to be a close game. Give us credit for that. We got one of those.
We did?
Let me check my records. Yes. But yeah, we knew it would be slow. I didn't, not to the levels that they do, but or that they were here to this afternoon. But still exciting. There are a lot of people here. You know, they're kind of off on a couple of things there.
Yeah,
But,
the folks
good.
here saw 59.5 minutes of a great football game.
And most of the time they were spent with their friend Joe underneath over there and Mr. D hot dog. It's a get together with people. And
No, absolutely.
That's what this is about.
Now, the football game is in many ways secondary just to the experience of coming out and being together. Obviously, it's unfortunate the way it ended, but we can have enough of that and we can focus on the important thing, and that is it's Thanksgiving.
It wasn't too bad at all, that the little skirmish afterwards. But it was controlled rather quickly, and everything seemed to be fine. Don't let it take away from these kids.
No, absolutely not. We shouldn't let it take away from what has been an excellent season overall for Fitchburg High. They finished with a record 7-4. Leominster finishes 5-6, winners of their last 4 games in a row. Something for them to hang their hats on as they move into next season, where it will be the 126th anniversary of the rivalry, and for the 115th time they'll play on Thanksgiving, which will be the 139th overall meeting, and that'll be at Doyle Field in Leominster. Dave and Mike, I certainly hope to see you there. I plan on being there.
Hope so, yeah.
But that is yet to come. For now, we want to wish everybody a safe and happy Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, do be safe, be mindful of the other drivers on the road, and if you're staying at home, just enjoy the day. Watch the parade, watch some football, have some turkey, have some more turkey.
Watch the balloons.
Watch the balloons, have yet more turkey, have even more turkey. It's Thanksgiving, you're going to have turkey. That's the joke. But for Dave Clark, Mike Flynn, the entire FATV crew, I'm John Gugerty saying thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time right here on FATV.